ஹாய் ஹலோ காய்ஸ், ஹவ் ஆர் யூ ஆல்? தெரியுது பொலிட்டிக்கல் ரேண்ட்டு தான், நியூஸ் ரியாக்ட் தான். பட் ஸ்டில் நான் நினச்ச ரேண்ட்டே ஒன்று, நான் ஒரு ரூம் நேரம் பேசின ரேண்ட்டே வேறு. ஸோ அதனால் நியூஸ் ரியாக்ட் முக்கியமாக இப்போ மகாராஷ்டிராவில் ஒரு விஷயம் நடந்திருக்கு. இப்போ நீங்கள் மேக்ஸிமம் நீங்கள் லாங்குவேஜ் அப்போசிஷன் இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்களே எங்கே பார்ப்பீங்கன்னா கேரளா, தமிழ்நாடு, வெஸ்ட் பெங்கால், கர்நாடகா இங்கெல்லாம் நீங்கள் கேள்விப்படுவீங்க. ஃபார் த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் மகாராஷ்டிரான்ஸே ஃபீல் பண்ணுறாங்க, என்ன இங்கே ஹிந்தி இம்போஸ் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கீங்க, எங்கள் மராத்தி தான் எங்கள் ஃபஸ்ட் லாங்குவேஜ் அவங்க பேச வச்சுருக்காங்க. அதுக்கு காரணம் அங்கே இருக்க சூப்பரான பிஜேபி லெட் கவர்மெண்ட் தான், கோவேஷன் கவர்மெண்ட், பட் ஸ்டில் பிஜேபி லெட். இப்போ நேஷனல் எஜுகேஷன் பாலிசின்னு சொல்லிட்டு 2020 டிராஃப்ட் பண்ணது இருக்குல்ல, அந்த என்இபியை கம்ப்ளீட்டாக அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு மகாராஷ்டிரா ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட் என்ன பண்ணியிருக்குன்னா, நாங்கள் ஒரு ஸ்டெப் ஃபர்தராக போகிறோம். இப்போ என்இபியில் தெளிவாக சொல்லுது, ஸ்டேட் அண்ட் த ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் அட் சாய்ஸ் தே கேன் சூஸ் எனி ஆப்ஷன். அதில் வந்து 2 லாங்குவேஜ் வந்து நேட்டிவ் லாங்குவேஜஸாக இருக்கணும்னு சொல்லி இங்கிலீஷ் வந்து இந்தியாவோட அஃபிஷியல் லாங்குவேஜ், நான் தள்ளி ஃபாரின் லாங்குவேஜாக ட்ரீட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. கம்மிங் பேக் டு திஸ் ஒன், இப்போ மகாராஷ்டிராவில் இருக்க பசங்க வந்து ஓகே என் ஃபஸ்ட் லாங்குவேஜ் வந்து என்னோட மதர் டங் மகாராஷ்டிரான்னு வச்சுப்போம், மராட்டின்னு வச்சுப்போம். செகண்ட் வந்து குளோபல் லாங்குவேஜ் இங்கிலீஷ்னு வச்சுப்போம். இப்போ இன்னொரு இந்தியன் லாங்குவேஜ் படிக்கணும்ல, ஸோ அதுக்கு இப்போ நிறைய ஆப்ஷன்ஸ் வச்சுருப்பாங்க. இப்போ சங்கீஸ்லாம் சான்ஸ்கிரிட் படிக்கணும்னு நினைப்பாங்க, இப்போ சில தமிழ் படிக்கணும்னு நினைப்பாங்க, தெலுங்கு படிக்கணும்னு நினைப்பாங்க, பெங்காலி படிக்கணும்னு நினைப்பாங்க. ஒவ்வொருத்தவங்களுக்கும் ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்கும்ல, அந்த மாதிரி இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட்லாம் போயிடக்கூடாது அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட் என்ன முடிவு பண்ணியிருக்குன்னா, கிளாஸ் 1 to 5 கம்பல்சரி மேண்டேட்டரி அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஹிந்தியை சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. ஸோ ஆப்ஷனல்ங்க சப்ஜெக்டே கிடையாது, நீங்கள் கண்டிப்பாக தேர்ட் லாங்குவேஜ் ஹிந்தி தான் படித்தாலும் கிளாஸ் 1 to 5 அப்படின்னு போட்டிருக்காங்க ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட்டு. பயங்கரமான பேக்லஷாக இருக்குது. நல்ல ஒருத்தர் இன்னும் ஐ திங்க் சிவசேனாவில் பிரிஞ்ச இன்னொரு லீடர்னு நினைக்கிறேன், அவர் வந்து போட்டிருக்காரு, ஹம் ஹிந்து பட் லெக்கின் ஹிந்தி நெஹி அப்படின்னு. நாங்களாம் ஹிந்து தான், ஆனால் நாங்களாம் வந்து ஹிந்தி ஆளுங்க கிடையாதுங்கிற போட்டிருக்காங்க. மாஸ்டரில் பெரிய பேனர் அடிச்சு. எனக்குலாம் ஒன்றுமே புரியல என்ன நடக்குதுங்கிற மாதிரி. ஒரே இத்தனை நாள் நம்ம கதறுன்னு கத்திரிப்போம், நம்ம வாய்ஸ் அவுட் பண்ணியிருப்போம், நம்ம சென்டிமெண்ட்டை ஒரு நேஷனல் மீடியா கூட கேட்கல. இன்றைக்கி வந்து மகாராஷ்டிராவில் மும்பை நடக்குதுன்னா ஒட்டுமொத்த பேர் அங்கே கேமரா தூக்கிட்டு போய் என்ன எதுன்னு கவர் பண்ணி இன்னும் அப்படி போட்டிருக்கேன்னு ஆங்கர்ஸ்லாம் கேள்விக்கிட்டுருக்கேன். வெரி சேட் ஸ்டேட் ஆக்சுவலி. அப்போனா எங்களுக்கெல்லாம் வந்து தக்காளி சட்னி, உங்களுக்கு வந்து ரத்தமா அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி தான் எனக்கு இருந்துச்சு. வை திஸ் பார்ஷியாலிட்டி ப்ரோ அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி தான் இருந்துச்சு எனக்கு ஆக்சுவலி. ஸோ நம்ம ரொம்ப டைம் வேஸ்ட் பண்ண வேணாம், சிம்பிள் கான்டெக்ட் தான். மகாராஷ்டிராவில் கிளாஸ் 1 to 5 சொல்லிட்டு மேண்டேட்டரி ஹிந்தி கற்றுக்கணும்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க தேர்ட் லாங்குவேஜாக. அதுக்கு அப்போஸ் பண்ணி அங்கே ஸ்டேட்டில் நிறையா அகெயின்ஸ்ட் வந்திருக்கு. இப்போ நம்ம அப்படிப்பட்ட ஒரு அற்புதமான டிபேட்டை நம்ம எப்போ பார்க்க போகிறோம்? அஃப்கோர்ஸ் இட்ஸ் எ நியூஸ் ரியாக்ட். அதோட மெயின் அல்டிமேட் கோல் என்னென்னா, நியூஸை நார்மலைஸ் பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக தான். அதாவது நியூஸ் பார்க்குறது, டிபேட் பார்க்குறத நார்மலைஸ் பண்ணணும். அந்த ரீசன் வை ஐ வாட்ச் மோர் அண்ட் மோர் டிபேட்ஸ்னால் இட் இஸ் லைக் அ பிரெயின் ஸ்டார்மிங் செஷன். மெனி பீப்புள் கம் டுகெதர், they all share their own opinions. அதில் எது கரெக்டாக இருக்கும், எதுக்கு வேலிட்னஸ் இருக்குது, யார் பேசுறதில் வந்து ரொம்ப தப்பாக இருக்குது அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி யூ கேன் அனலைஸ் ஈச் திங்ஸ். உங்களுக்குன்னு ஒரு செல்ஃப் அவேர்னஸும் பேசிக் காக்னிசன்ஸும் இருந்தாலே போதும். உங்களுக்கே தெரிஞ்சிடும் அவன் என்ன பேசுகிறான், என்ன பொருடாக வரான்னு. இத்தனை நாள் தமிழ்நாடு பேசுனது, இங்கே இருக்க டிஎம்கே ரெப்ரஸன்டேட்டிவ்ஸு இவங்கெல்லாம் அங்கே நேஷனல் மீடியா போய் பேசுனது யாருமே கேட்காத ஒரு விஷயத்த இப்போ மகாராஷ்டிராவுக்கு நடக்குதுன்னு எல்லாரும் பதறி அடிச்சுட்டு நியூஸை கவர் பண்ணுறாங்க. அதுதான் நம்ம இப்போ பார்க்க போகிறோம். It's News Reacts Edition 6. Come on, let's get into the show. உங்க ஸ்கிரீன் தெரியுதா?
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The latest state to enter the language war seems to be Maharashtra, despite a BJP chief minister. Why?
Despite being a North Indian state. அது ஏன் சொல்ல மாட்டீங்க? வாங்க.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The latest state to enter the language war seems to be Maharashtra, despite a BJP chief minister. Why? That's the interesting part, and it comes after a language advisory committee has written to the chief minister opposing Hindi as a third language for children in classes 1 to 5 as a mandatory language. It's opposed it. This comes days after directive that NEP or the national
நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோம்னா கையை மடித்து காலை தூக்கி போட்டு என்ஜாய் பண்ண போகிறோம். நாங்கள் சொன்னப்பெல்லாம் கேட்கல, இப்போ நல்லா கதறங்கடா, நம்ம கதற விட்டு நம்ம அதை வேடிக்கை பார்க்க போகிறோம். வாங்க கைஸ்.
Education policy is being implemented in the state, and Hindi will be taught in schools as a third language. More importantly, Maharashtra's language committee did not mince its words while stating on record that the 3-language policy is quote unquote unscientific.
Place
unnecessary pressure.
ஒரு ஸ்டேட்டோட லாங்குவேஜ் கமிட்டி.
Importantly, Maharashtra's language committee did not mince its words while stating on record that the three-language policy is quote-unquote unscientific and will place unnecessary pressure on students. If that's the case, ladies and gentlemen, does the center need to listen in? Are we setting up children to be stress balls from the beginning? Amid politics, whose truth is the truth that parents need to listen into? Also remember, what's unfolding in Maharashtra is very different from what's happening down south, particularly Tamil Nadu, which has been pushing back what they call Hindi imposition. In Tamil Nadu, it's a pushback primarily against Hindi imposition. In Maharashtra, though, is the BJP-led ruling on the back foot? And
அப்போ அங்கே கிளாஸ் 1 to 5 மேண்டேட்டரி ஹிந்தி படிக்கணுங்கிறது ஒரு ஹிந்தி பொசிஷன் கிடையாது. தமிழ்நாட்டில் நடந்தது வேற, இப்போ மகாராஷ்டிராவில் நடக்கிறது வேற. ஏமா ஸ்னேகா, ஏமா இப்படி பண்ற? உனக்கு ஒஸ்ட் ஸ்கிரிப்ட் ஒன்று யாரோ பார்த்து இழிச்ச வாய் நினச்சி ஒஸ்ட் ஸ்கிரிப்ட் உன் தலையில் கட்டுறாங்க. கொஞ்சமாச்சும் ஜேர்னலிஸ்ட்லாம் படிச்சுட்டு வந்திருக்கேன், ஏமா இப்படி பண்ற? உன் பேரை நீயே காப்பாற்றிக்க வேணாமா? அப்படி தான் எனக்கு தோணுது. Speed up, ramp up.
Now, downplaying the NEP or what is being seen as Hindi imposition as a third language because of the history of preservation of Marathi vis-a-vis languages and influence from southern states and an influx of Hindi from up north. Agitations that are seeped in carving out the Marathi identity of the state, its very core existence. So between practical compulsions of availability of teachers, students interested in a language and the regional pride, can a third language, or rather a second Indian language as stated in NEP, be anything apart from Hindi? And what does anybody, including those from south or north, make up of what the political stands have been? I'm being joined by Asif Bamla, who's a spokesperson for BJP, Anish Gawande, who's a national spokesperson for NCP Sharad Pawar faction, as well as Furqan Qamar, who's an educationist. Thank you very much.
ஏன் இதுக்கு டிஎம்கேவை கூப்பிடல? எஜுகேஷன் பற்றி, ஸ்டேட் ரைட் பற்றி அவ்வளோ பேசின டிஎம்கேவை இந்த டிபேட்டுக்கு ஏன் கூப்பிடல? மற்றதுக்கெல்லாம் உட்கார வச்சு பேசுகிறத காதுலேயே அங்கேமா என்னென்ன வேலைலாம் பண்ணீங்க. தமிழ்நாடு வாய்ஸ் அவுட் பண்ணிச்சு, அதேமாரி நடக்குது. என்னங்க உண்மையுமே ஹிந்தி இம்போஷன் பண்ணுறீங்கன்னு ஏன் இதுக்கு டிஎம்கே கூப்பிட்டு வச்சு அவங்க ஒப்பீனியன் வாங்கலை? நான் மிரர்னோ ஓ சயின்ஸே சரியில்லையே.
Much all of you for joining me. Well, let me straight come to you, Asif Bamla. The first question, it's none other than the committee of the government itself. It's not a political rival. It's not anybody else, say from an opposition ruled state. It's an education expert committee with experts, with linguists, with educationists who have come up and said something very strong. NEP is unscientific. Let's just start with that, Asif Bamla. What do you make out of that?
Yes, it is.
Well, what the state education policy had proposed was that you see that Marathi, of course, has always been given a very special status, and it is the first language. It is compulsory, mandatory, no choice, no discussion further. Secondly, the Hindi language, of course, because in all other states of India and all the other cities of India, Hindi is spoken the most, so that's like a nationally acclaimed language. Third, English, of course, because English is, of course, internationally and a language that's of an acclaim, which, of course, entitles a student whenever they have to travel abroad or outside India, you need to have a third language. So it's not that any compromise has been done for towards Marathi. The people who are in the opposition have got no issues left. तो वो कहते हैं ना किसियानी बिल्ली खंबा नोचे. अब इनके पास कोई विषय नहीं रह गया. मराठी अरे मराठी का तो स्पेशल दर्जा देश के आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री ने दिल्ली में दिया है, वो भी इस विधानसभा के चुनाव के बहुत पहले. आप क्या मराठी की बात कर रहे हो? मराठी अस्मिता जितना हमारे देश के पंतप्रधान आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी मराठी बोल पाते हैं, अच्छे से बोलते भी हैं.
I'm sticking to you because Asif Bamla, you haven't answered the question that I asked you. You have gone hammer and tongs behind the opposition, fair enough, and you can make that point for what you are here. But my question is very simple. It's you
can re-ask.
கேட்டதுக்கு பதில் சொல்றான் என்ன?
Asif Bamla, before I go to Anish Gawande, I'm sticking to you because Asif Bamla, you haven't answered the question that I asked you. You have gone hammer and
Hey,
behind the opposition, fair enough, and you can make that point for what you are here. But my question is very simple. It's you
can re-ask me the question.
Panel. It's your committee that is going to that is going on saying that NEP is unscientific. I mean, we'll get to the fact of Marathi versus Hindi, that's one point. But your panel is saying NEP is unscientific and that children are being unnecessarily pressurized into learning a language which doesn't need to be enforced the way it is. They are completely against the 3-language policy, and I'm asking you with this great responsibility because parents are watching. We're trying to go beyond politics. We get in politics. But it's your expert panel that's saying NEP is unscientific. I'm asking you this specifically again.
தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருக்க சிட்டிசனோ தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருக்க பேரண்ட்ஸோ இதெல்லாம் ஃபீல் பண்ணா உங்களுக்கு பிரச்சனை இல்லை. மகாராஷ்டிரா மும்பைன்னு துடிக்கிறீங்க அப்படியே மீன் துள்ளுற மாதிரி. பிளட்டி ராஸ்கோல்ஸ்
Policy, and I'm asking you with this great responsibility because parents are watching. We're trying to go beyond politics. We get in politics. But it's your expert panel that's saying NEP is unscientific. I'm asking you this specifically again.
So if it is an expert panel of the government of Maharashtra, as you say, and I understand this also very much in all humility, we will certainly respect the decision of the panel. There are many things which independent panels under the ambit of the state government don't favor what has been exhibited by the government or the chief minister in place. So if this proposition has come up, that doesn't mean the government has done some very big crime or it's done something which it can't roll back. Of course, there are decisions that have to be reconsidered, that have to be revisited. So if the panel has come out with something, I am sure it has something legitimate in larger interest of the benefits of the students of Maharashtra, which I understand. So if that is the case, the entire decision would be revisited and then a composite plan, which would be a
ஆஷிஃப் பாம்லா ராக்டு, ஸ்னேஹா கோஷி ஷாக்டு,
other favorable plan.
பிஜேபி ஷாக்டு தான். என்னடா பேசிக்கிட்டு இருக்க? ஸ்போக்ஸ் பர்சன் கேட்டிருப்பாங்க.
Maharashtra, which I understand. So if that is the case, the entire decision would be revisited and then a composite plan, which would be a rather favorable plan, would be come into being and would be put into practice. But what is so much of a noise?
Can I say that BJP spokesperson is telling Mera now that they are going to revisit the decision about NEP, about implementation of NEP, because NEP has been implemented in the state, the government has gone ahead. Are you saying that NEP is NEP, and I'm not talking about Hindi alone, I'm talking about NEP being revisited, the decision around NEP being implemented?
You see, any suggestions that come within the state committee has to be, of course, visited. And is it something wrong? Has this happened? Is this something which has never happened in the past, in the previous governments? That this is something something that's going to create a taboo in the existing government? Or जैसे कोई बहुत पहाड़ टूट जाएंगे या आसमान हिल जाएगा, ऐसी तो कोई बात नहीं है. ऐसी जब चीजें होती है, उस पर forget this.
I gave you a lot of time. Asif Bamla, and thank you for answering the way you had. Let me get in Anish Devanve. Anish, a very simple question. Look at what Asif Bamla is saying. Decode to us, how do you look at where and how is the ruling front right now positioned? You have this expert panel saying unscientific. You have an expert panel saying that it's going to pressurize children. You have an opposition that's going hammer and tongs. Do not get in Hindi the way it is, and it is imposition. The BJP rushes in saying NEP is being implemented. Hindi is going to be taught in schools from 1st to 5. The expert panel says do not teach Hindi as a third language from 1st to 5. How do you decode this?
You know, Sneha, the challenge is that two people in Delhi are deciding what we wear, what we eat, and now how we study. The NEP is a half-baked policy which cannot be implemented across the country. We know this for other reasons as well. The 4-year undergraduate idea, which has been debunked by a lot of academics and educationists as a half-baked idea. The 3-language policy, which has come under criticism from their own panels and their sort of committee members. And more importantly, this idea of centralizing all decisions within education to those who are sitting in Delhi. Now, I'll tell you 3 problems with the NEP in Maharashtra, right? Now, the 3-language policy in Maharashtra becomes a 4-language policy. Why? Because we have traditionally been a multilingual state where many children, including my own friends, have also learnt a 4th language like Gujarati or Tamil or Kannada, depending upon where they are in the state. The centre has moved to say that Hindi is the language that you should study and English is also something that you should study, will mean that schools now have to make the choice between teaching children their own mother tongue or Marathi. Which language is going to suffer over here? More importantly, the bigger challenge is that there is a centralization of education in Delhi now. Why should every school in Maharashtra follow a CBSE curriculum according to this government? Why should NCERT textbooks be introduced for all schools across Maharashtra? Do we not have our own culture? Do we not have our own heritage? Why should all decisions be taken by remote control in Delhi? And third and most importantly, there's a complete lack of educationists on this panel. You know, I'm very eager to hear from the educationists on our panel today about the impact this has on kids. You know, unfortunately, the reality
ஆக்சுவலி பாண்டிச்சேரியில் இதே வேலை பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. பாண்டிச்சேரியில் இருக்க எல்லா ஸ்கூல்ஸுமே சிபிஎஸ்சி ஸ்கூலாக மாற்றிருக்காங்க. அது ஒரு பெருமை வேலை கண்டுக்கிட்டு இருக்காங்க. எனக்கு லாஜிக்கே புரியல. பாண்டிச்சேரி ஓகே, இட்ஸ் யூனியன் டெரிட்டரி, பேசிக்கலி இட் நீட்ஸ் அ சப்போர்ட், ஃபைன். மகாராஷ்டிராவில் இருக்க எல்லா ஸ்கூல்லையும் சிபிஎஸ்சியாக மாற்றணும். அப்போ ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு என்னதான் ரோல்? ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட் எஜுகேஷனும் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் இருக்குன்னு தெரியுமா தெரியாதா? அவங்க ஊரில் ஸ்டேட் எஜுகேஷன் மினிஸ்டர் இருக்குன்னு தெரியுமா தெரியாதா? எல்லாத்தையும் யூனியன் மினிஸ்டர் தள்ள கட்டுருவாங்களா? என்ன கதை? காசு மட்டும் வாங்கிட்டு ஏதாவது சொல்கிற அப்படி செஞ்சுட்டு போயிடுவாங்களா?
Why should NCERT textbooks be introduced for all schools across Maharashtra? Do we not have our own culture? Do we not have our own heritage? Why should all decisions be taken by remote control in Delhi? And third and
லோட்லாம் இருங்க டேய்.
most importantly, there's a complete lack of educationists on this panel. You know, I'm very eager to hear from the educationists on our panel today about the impact this has on kids. You know, unfortunately, the reality is we've reduced any change in this country to adding or removing chapters from textbooks. I often say this for other contexts as well. You know, you can't teach children to be environmentalists by adding a chapter or a subject in school. It has to come through more innovative ways. But the reality is that we have become educationally bankrupt. Our cultural and educational institutions are being driven to the ground. Mumbai University, one of the finest universities in the country, is now flailing. 700 public libraries in Maharashtra shut down in the last 5 years alone. Marathi cultural centers and institutions are dying as we speak. And while the government gives classical language status to Marathi, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj's forts are lying driven to the ground. Mumbai University, one of the finest universities in the country, is now flailing. 700 public libraries in Maharashtra shut down in the last 5 years alone. Marathi cultural centers and institutions are dying as we speak. And while the government gives classical language status to Marathi, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj's forts are lying neglected despite multiple promises since 2014 to revive them. So the hypocrisy is standing out today. And the reality is that we cannot centralize education, and we need experts discussing this, not politicians.
Asif Bamla, is this where BJP is caught in the back foot? One, you have the entire history of activism and protection for Marathi, the identity. Second, what seems to be allegations of centralizing everything and forgetting the distinct identity and flavor of the state, whether it be Tamil Nadu, whether it be Maharashtra, down south, up east.
There is nothing as such. My friend Anish Gawande is just trying to confuse a situation. Where has anyone said that Marathi is not mandatory and compulsory? That's the first language that has always been regarded.
The point is not whether Marathi is compulsory. The point is about Hindi automatically becoming compulsory. Is that becoming a bane?
What is wrong if there is a chance of a choice in a second language to have Hindi in
வந்துச்சா உண்மை வந்துச்சா? ஆப்ஷன் இருக்கு. சாரி கைஸ், உங்களுக்கு ஆப்ஷன் இருக்கு. நீங்க என்ன லாங்குவேஜ்னா படிக்கலாம். தேர்ட் லாங்குவேஜ் நேட்டிவ் டு இந்தியன் லாங்குவேஜாக இருந்தால் போதும். யூ ஹேவ் த ஆப்ஷன், யூ கேன் சூஸ். ஏன் ஒரு பீகாரில் இருக்க ஒரு குழந்தை தமிழை படிக்க ஏன் நீங்கள் கெடுக்குறீங்க? அப்போல்லாம் நம்ம ஊரில் இருக்க பிஜேபி இவங்க பேசிகிட்டு இருந்துச்சுல்ல, இங்கே இருக்க பிஜேபி தமிழ்நாடுவீங்க. இப்போ வந்துருச்சா? சிம்பிளாக திரும்ப சொல்லுவாங்க, உனக்கு ஒரு தாய்மொழி படிக்கணுமா ஹிந்தி படிக்கணுமான்னு ஸ்டேக்கை வச்சு எனக்கு தாய்மொழி வேணும் ப்ளீஸ், நான் ஹிந்தியே படிச்சுக்கிறேன். தாய்மொழி ஹிந்தி இங்கிலீஷ், அந்த மைண்ட் செட் தான் எல்லாம் கொண்டு வருவானுங்க எல்லா அதர் ஸ்டேட்ஸ்லையுமே. மகாராஷ்டிராவில் நடந்துச்சு. அப்போ தமிழ்நாடு சொன்னப்போ கேட்கல, பட்டா தான் தெரியுது உங்களுக்கு.
What is wrong if there is a chance of a choice in a second language to have Hindi in Maharashtra? You want a second language to be a Telugu or a Malayalam? Of course, Hindi हम सब बात करते हैं.
அப்ப நீ தமிழ் தெலுங்கு அங்க படிக்கிற பசங்க சொல்லி தர மாட்டேன், அப்படிதானே? உங்க அக்கா மக்கா அடுத்த தடவை இங்க நம்ம ஊர்ல இருக்க பிஜேபி சொல்லும் பார்த்தீங்களா, இந்த கையெழுத்து வாங்க சொல்லி கேம்பெயின்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாங்களே. பீகார்ல இருக்க குழந்தைங்க தமிழ் படிக்கணும்னு ஆசைப்படுறாங்க, உத்தரப்பிரதேசில் குழந்தைங்க தமிழ் படிக்கணும்னு ஆசைப்படுறாங்க, அதெல்லாம் அங்கே கெடுக்கிறாங்க. தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருக்க நம்மளும் ஏதாவது படிக்கணும்ல அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்களே. கேத்தாம்பட்டி ஒரு கேள்வி ஒன்று, ஹிந்தி படிச்சவனுக்கு என்ன கேடுன்னு. இதுதான் அவங்க எல்லாருக்குமே. அப்படின்னா நாங்க என்ன ஹிந்தி படிக்கணும்? அங்க இருக்க ஒருத்தன் தமிழ் தெலுங்கு படிச்சு என்ன பண்ண போறோம்? ஹிந்தி தான் யூஸ்ஃபுல்னா இங்க இருக்க நாங்க என்ன ஹிந்தி படிக்கணும்? ஹிந்தி கூட யூஸ்ஃபுல் இல்லடா, ஒரு டம்மியான லாங்குவேஜ் உங்க லாங்குவேஜ். அப்புறம் நாங்க எதுக்கு ஹிந்தி படிக்கணும்? எலக்டிவ் வச்சுட்டு போக வேண்டியதானே.
Second language to have Hindi in If there is a chance of a choice in a second language to have Hindi in Maharashtra, you want a second language to be a Telugu or a Malayalam? Of course, Hindi हम सब बात करते हैं. हमारे जो अन्य राज्य में हैं, जब हम
Where is the
मुंबई का
option
हो
of
या
choice?
महाराष्ट्र
Okay.
से हो,
Where is
कई
the
लोग
option of
जाते
choice?
हैं. अभी
ஈவன் ஸ்னேஹா காட் ஷாக்டு. என்னவா சொல்றீங்க அப்படின்னு. ஈவன் ஸ்னேஹா ஆங்கர் காட் ஷாக்டு.
1 minute to you, Asif Bamla. Where is the option of choice? Here's the question. Where is the option of choice? Asif Bamla, where is the option of choice? 1 minute to you. Where is the option of choice? You are saying what is the problem of Hindi becomes the option. Second option, where is it as an option? The moment you bring in a 3-language policy where a second Indian language has to be learned in Maharashtra, where you have 2 students, say, from Telangana, 3 students from Kerala, 4 students from, say, Kashmir, another 5 students, say, from another part of the state, say, Manipur or Mizoram, you are then going to say, teach all of these children whatever language they want, it's automatically Hindi. What are we talking about, sir?
Students, be it students from Telangana, be it from Tamil Nadu, be it from Kashmir, let me tell you all, the most significant language outside Maharashtra in any part of India at least is definitely Hindi, and I'm sure my friend Anish will agree with that. So I don't see any issues if
Let
Hindi
the children
is also
decide which is the
allowed.
most
ஏய், எதுக்காக இவனெல்லாம் ஓட்டு போட்டு எங்களே வேற சாவடிக்கிறீங்க? ஏண்டா அறிவு இருக்கா இல்லடா? பாருங்கடா, நியூஸ் டிபேட்லாம் பாருங்கடா. ஓட்டு மட்டும் போட்டு எதுக்கு ஓட்டு போறேன்னு தெரியாம பிஜேபி ஆட்சி கொண்டு வந்துட்டு டெல்லியை தூக்கி கொடுத்துட்டு என்னடா பண்றீங்க நீங்க? எனக்கு புரியல. நியூஸ் ஏதாவது பாக்குறீங்களா? நியூஸ்லாம் பார்த்து எப்படி அங்க போய் ஓட்டு போடுறீங்க? அவ்வளோ மதவெறி ரிச்சடா உங்க எல்லாருக்கும்.
Anish will agree with that. So I don't see any issues if
Let the children decide which is the most significant language, Asif Bamla. Furqan Kamar, I know you're waiting patiently, but you are the expert and we are waiting to hear you out. You very quickly want to respond to Asif. Very quickly. Anish, very quickly.
I have one very simple phrase. I'm standing here in Delhi और हिंदी के साथ हमारा कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. हिंदी तुझसे बैर नहीं, हिंदी imposition तेरी खैर नहीं.
Okay, that's very much similar to what we've been hearing over the
नहीं,
last
आपका
few
problem
weeks
ये
for that
है-
matter, particularly from Tamil Nadu as well.
आपका
Furqan
problem ये
Kamar, come in. Next 2 minutes to you. Why we'll try to go to...
பாசிங்ல தமிழ்நாடு சொல்றத ஒரு வாரமா நாங்க கேட்டுக்கிறோம். மதிச்சியா?
Okay, that's very much similar to what we've been hearing over the
नहीं,
last
आपका
few
problem
weeks
ये
for that
है-
matter, particularly from Tamil Nadu as well.
आपका
Furqan
problem ये है-
Kamar, come in. Next few minutes to you. Why we'll try to go to a political analyst again for one last remark. Break this down for us. First point. Do you agree with what the committee has said? The committee, and this is very important because this is an expert committee. This is a committee from Maharashtra. Committee is saying NEP is unscientific. Committee is saying a third language from classes 1 to 5 is going to create unnecessary pressure on children from 1 to 5. Break this down for us as an expert. How do you look at this?
Neha, in a few writings and programs, I have said that this national education policy is a combination of good, bad, and ugly. There are many good things, but the ugliest part of the policy is that is being always read with the political lens and according to convenience of people. This national education policy nowhere said that Hindi must be taught. In fact, the word languages has been mentioned in this policy document 227 times. Word Hindi has been used only once. One mention only at one page. And just to give you a glimpse, this policy very clearly said that the 3 languages learned by children will be the choice of the states, the region, and of course the students themselves, so long as at least 2 of the 3 languages are native Indian languages. In fact, the ultimate decision maker here is the student. Give the student a choice. Why state after states are taking decisions to impose Hindi is that they want to save money. They don't want to invest in teachers of different languages, and therefore they want an easy way out. They are forgetting one of the spirit of the national
You're right,
education.
because Maharashtra government has said that on record. Fadnavis has said that on record.
So, you have to invest in education. In fact, the policy itself said that enough investment would be made in teaching of different Indian languages. I think there is another issue that is going to come later because the policy itself mentions that if one language is to be taught compulsorily, that is Sanskrit. So far, no state has taken a lead in that regard, but someday this issue would also come and maybe...
ஏய், நாங்களும் சொன்னோம்டா. ஏன்டா கேட்க மாட்டீங்க? இது வெறும் ஹிந்தி இம்போசிஷன் கூட இல்லை, ஆக்சுவலி சான்ஸ்கிரிட் இம்போசிஷன். ஹிந்திங்கிற ஃபேஸ் மாஸ்க் கூட வருது. அதையும் சொன்னோம்டா. கேட்காண்டா மாட்டீங்க. எங்கடா படித்தவன் அறிவானவன் சொன்னால் எங்கடா கேட்குறீங்க?
We shall be debating it. I think let us read national education policy objectively. Let's keep the politicians out and politics out of that and see things on
Is
merit.
that possible? Is that possible? Because the way this is being implemented and interpreted in states, across states, is by political parties and politically elected governments who definitely seem to be in the either which spectrum depending upon their ideology and belief. So if you're saying let us enforce it, implement it without politics, is that a possibility? Very quickly.
No. Politics pervade all aspects of our life. I don't mean that. You see, all these problems are arising because things are not being discussed. Had this policy document been discussed in the Central Advisory Board of Education, where not only the education ministers of all states are represented, but they are also experts. I think if you discuss in detail, some solution would come by and a consensus opinion would emerge. The problem is that we are not trying to talk to each other, rather we are trying to talk at each other, and therefore we are imposing one thing after another and creating problems. I think so long as these things go on, education would remain in limbo and the children...
One more question. Mr. Kamar, one question. I want to ask you, is CBSE putting a nail to its own coffin? Why I'm asking you this question? At the time when boards, including several other boards, including IB and so on and so forth, are literally taking a grip of metros and several other cities across the country, is the CBSE making a mockery out of children who literally believe in the system? Not just children, but also their parents. Are we making a mockery of education?
I would say so, but like in an earlier debate, I had said that nobody here mentioned that these decisions should have been taken by an autonomous bodies. NCRT is an autonomous body, but the sad part is that this body also tries to do what its masters wanted to do. That is where the problem is. In fact, I appreciate this language committee in Maharashtra, which pointed out the reasons that why this decision of imposing Hindi and teaching it mandatorily may not be a good decision, may not be a bad decision. I think there should be
And it takes courage.
How is it different from South? How is it different from South? South protest rooted in regional language primacy. உங்களுக்கு தான்டா ரீஜனல் லாங்குவேஜ் பிரைமசி. மராட்டி வேணாமா உங்களுக்கு? அப்போ பிஜேபி காஷியஸ் டு அவாய்ட் சீமிங் ஆன்டி மராத்தி.
Of imposing Hindi and teaching it mandatorily may not be a good decision, may not be a bad decision. I think there should be
And it takes courage.
After all, it's a...
Maharashtra lacks outright anti-Hindi stance. இதை விட கிளாஸ் 1 to 5 கம்பல்சரி ஹிந்தியை விட அவுட்ரைட்டாக உங்களுக்கு இல்லை.
National education policy, and there has to be a national consensus. Remove the bad part, keep the good parts, and lead it in a very sincere and honest manner.
Okay, 30 seconds. Anish, to you first.
Firstly, my point is simple. The question is of choice. Why was Hindi made compulsory from the 1st to the 5th standard, and why did the Education Committee have to write to the Chief Minister against this policy? The second point is that in this contested political terrain, what is the vision that this government has for education? We were introducing IB and BMC schools, and they want to introduce CBSE across the state and give our students a subpar education and prevent them from accessing the best opportunities. This is the vision for education that's at stake, and we want what's best for Maharashtra's kids, and unfortunately that vision is lacking.
Asif Bamla, 30 seconds.
You see, if I was given more time, but you've given me restricted time, there are many initiatives that the state government has taken.
Oh my goodness, Mr. Asif Bamla, I give you the most here.
Please go ahead.
கண்டென்ட்டே இல்லாதவன் மண்டே இல்லாதவன் இப்படிதான் கண்டதை பேசிக்கிட்டு இருப்பான் டைம் வேஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டு.
If I was given more time, but you've given me restricted time, there are many initiatives that the state government has taken.
Oh my goodness, Mr. Asif Bamla, I give you the most here. But please go ahead.
No, there's this Marathi Bhasha Bhavan that's been put up in South Mumbai. So there are various situations like this. There are various initiatives that's taken by the government. No one's even talking about it. Just because the committee, of course, I respect the committee with all humility. But like Mr. Furqan mentioned that, and again, I would also want to submit that there's a major constraint for teachers with other languages also. You have to also consider. Now, for example, you have...
Therefore, there is no choice. Therefore...
இதைத்தானடா நாங்களும் சொன்னோம். இந்தியா doesn't have the resources, abundant resources that needs to teach எவ்ரி ஒன்ஸ் சாய்ஸ் ஆஃப் தேர்ட் லாங்குவேஜ்னு மறைமுகமாக மெனு கார்டு மாரி இருக்கும், எது கேட்டாலும் இல்லை இல்லைன்னு சொல்லுவான்னு. சரவணனே அவ்வளோ சிம்பிளாக சொன்னடா உங்களுக்கு. அதை விட புரிஞ்சுக்க முடியாது. யாரா நீங்கள்?
Want to submit that there's a major constraints for teachers with other languages also. You have to also consider. Now, for example, you have
Therefore,
about
there is no
5
choice.
students who prefer to
Therefore, there is no choice,
to
sir.
study Telugu. No, देखिए, therefore की बात नहीं है.
Thank you so
have
much
to
for your
also
panelists.
see,
We're totally out of time. I understand each of you bring to the table what you have in terms of your perspectives. Parents and children have a lot to decide on. Unfortunately, not many of them really will be in a position to make those alternatives. I leave our viewers with one very, very simple point of reference. Remember, India Vidyalayas across the country have a choice of studying social sciences in any language, whether it be English or Hindi for that matter. They can just choose between these two languages. But many schools up north, even though give you the choice of studying social sciences in English, inadvertently in classrooms teach in Hindi.
கொஞ்சம் glitch ஆகுது, sorry guys.
Of studying social sciences in any language, whether it be English or Hindi for that matter. They can just choose between these two languages. But many schools up north, even though give you the choice of studying social sciences in English, inadvertently in classrooms teach you in Hindi while you go and take those examinations in English if you so will. Not every school, but many schools across cities. That's a thought to ponder even between English and Hindi, and we're getting in a third language. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're totally out of time. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Asif Bamla. Thank you, Anish Gawande, and thank you, Furqan Kamar. Thank you so much.
சூப்பரா. இது ஃபஸ்ட்டு கதறல் மிரர் நோவில் பண்ணது. அடுத்தது வாங்க, இதோட சூப்பராக இன்னொன்று இருக்குது. ஐ டோல்ட் யூ சோ மூமெண்ட் இன் இந்தியா டுடே. பிரீத்தி வாங்க வாங்க நெக்ஸ்ட்.
The language storm raging in the south has touched western shores. Hindi imposition row has spread from the south to the west.
வாங்க வாங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட்லேருந்து வாங்க.
The language storm raging in the south has touched western shores. Hindi imposition row has spread from the south to the west. Amidst the language row in Tamil Nadu, Hindi made compulsory in Maharashtra. Yes, you heard it right. Not optional, but mandatory in Maharashtra.
Cool.
The Maharashtra government has made Hindi a compulsory third language from standard 1 to 5 in both Marathi and English medium schools in the state, as per the
ஒரே நிமிஷம் காய்ஸ், சார்ட்டை படிக்க மாட்டேனே. முக்கியமான விஷயம், போன இதில் எப்படி சார்ட் ரிசீவ் யூடியூப் சாட்ஸு கமெண்ட்ஸ் அதை படிக்க மாட்டேன். ஒரே செகண்ட் இருங்க. பண்ணணும்னு நினச்சிட்டே இருந்தேன், டக்குன்னு டைம் போனதில் அப்படியே மாறட்டேன். இருங்க, ஹிஸ்ட்ரியில் எடுத்து காட்டுறேன்.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The latest state to enter the language wars.
கமெண்ட் செக்ஷன் எங்கே இருக்கு? இங்கே இருக்கு. ஷார்ட் பை அப்படியே இருக்கட்டும். What Tamil Nadu did decades ago, the rest of India realizes now. A third language is a real burden on young minds. Also, other subjects shall get marginalized. Language should be in the state list. Some idiots sitting in Nagpur cannot make all the decisions. Good one, ma. Good one. This is what Tamil Nadu has been voicing out all these years. Thanks now. Thanks now Maharashtra has withdrawn its decision. அப்படியா? Not yet. Maharashtra almost withdrawn Hindi as third language. Instead of thinking of foreign languages, German or French as third language. Why to insist on Hindi? Are we going to UP, Bihar by learning Hindi? எப்படா ஹிந்தியை ஃபாரின் லாங்குவேஜ்லாம் படிக்க முடியாதுப்பா. கண்டிப்பாக 2 நேட்டிவ் இந்தியன் லாங்குவேஜ் படிக்கணும். If people vote for BJP, this is what will happen. Slowly they will make people slaves of the ideologies. People should understand. This is the reason Tamil Nadu is opposing NEP, which also has 3-language policy. Tamil Nadu has been indicating this for the last 70 years, at least due to technology and internet. The rest of the country came to know no need of Hindi in Karnataka or Bangalore. They couldn't find jobs in North India and came to South to earn a living, and now forcing locals to learn Hindi. English gave us jobs. What does Hindi language give? We will never bow down to Hindi ever, Jai Karnataka. Hindi is unnecessary language. If you learn Hindi, you become daily wage laborers in all over India. If you learn English, you get white collar jobs all over the world. If you learn Tamil, you will become good thinker with good morals and integrity. How many Marathi teachers in KV schools in whole of India? தமிழ்நாட்டிலே தமிழ் டீச்சர் இல்லை ஆப்ஷனல் லாங்குவேஜ் சொல்லி தரதுக்கு. வெரி குட் மகாராஷ்டிரா எஜுகேஷனல் பேனல் டேர்மிங் as NEP as unscientific. Instead of opposing RSS ideology, இது நல்ல கமெண்ட் ஆக்சுவலி லைக் பண்ணிடுறேன். Instead of opposing RSS ideology, one language, one religion, one election, consider development which they won't or can't do. The Gujus sell India, 2 Gujus sell India, and the other 2 Gujus buy India. Tamil Nadu always had forethought. When Tamils oppose Hindi imposition, the national media ridiculed the Tamils. At least now you guys understand the gravity of the evil. All the developed states are opposing Hindi. We stand by Marathi brothers. Long live Marathi. ADMK 581. என்னடா ஐடி இதெல்லாம்? Salute to Maharashtra political leaders who 100% support Marathi and English. 3 languages too much for children. Hindi may be spoken in underdeveloped Bimar states, not in our south. UP North cities doesn't even have a good roads like Tamil Nadu villages down south. At last CM surrounded like Savarkar and Hindi is no more in Maharashtra. Hindi is an unwanted waste extra language for students. Mother language and English are essential. English is an international language and it's an encyclopedia to know everything. Science, engineering, maths, computer science, space science to lab science, so many to refer and to improve knowledge in many aspects. Tamil Nadu is the icon for every state. 11 ரிப்ளைஸ் என்னன்னு கேட்பேன். என்ன அப்படின்னா கிடச்சி வச்சிருக்கீங்க. மும்பை இஸ் கமர்ஷியல் கேபிட்டல் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் யூஸ் ஆஃப் ஹிந்தி அண்ட் ஹிந்தி ஸ்பீக்கிங் பீப்புள். சென்னை இஸ் நாட். Gandhiji and Nehru were from the North India and were using unwanted waste extra luggage according to you. These people never imposed Hindi on anybody. Would you accept them if any other language are imposed on you? You say my language is your language. But when it comes to GST money, you say your money is my money. There is no logic in your posting. Samt. Logical thinking does not look like in your forte. It's not about imposing, it's about being practical to use largest spoken language. Be practical, speak English. It's the largest spoken language across the world. That is what freedom fighters did when they raised the slogans like Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Chalo Delhi, etc. etc. At the cost of linguistic diversity, you want everyone to speak Hindi for a practical purpose. Next what? For practical purpose, one religion. By the way, it is exactly imposing when someone is forcing you to learn or speak or do something which you don't want to. I know what you will do next. You are gonna question our patriotism when we refuse to behave like majority people. It may work in illiterate states, but not with us. Hey, summary battle. Every generation needs different rules. இப்போ பாருங்க, எவ்வளோ கமெண்ட் செக்ஷன் எவ்வளோ கேவலமாக பேசிகிட்டு இருப்பாங்க. ஆனால் ஒரு நியூஸ் மீடியா ஒரு டிஸ்கஷன் கீழே எவ்வளோ படித்தவங்களா பேசிகிட்டு இருக்காங்க பாருங்க. அட்லீஸ் இப்போ கமெண்ட்ஸ் டிஃப்ரெண்ட்டாக வரும், ஆனால் அப்யூசிங்கை தாண்டி ஒரு ஐடியாவாக பேசிகிட்டு இருக்காங்கல்ல ரெடிட் மாதிரி. அது ரொம்ப பிடிச்சிருக்கு எனக்கு. Every generation needs different rules, regulations and constitution. The need for English is increasing. Chinese Mandarin, Japanese Cantonese and Mandarin ரெண்டு தான் இருக்குது. Japanese who mastered everything in technology are learning English. Hindi is nowhere near languages like Bengali, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada when it comes to translating science into their language. You must catch up and then talk. We don't want Chennai to be like Mumbai. Our locals don't have any say on running the city. If Hindi is the reason for Mumbai's prosperity, why none of the Bimar cities are even close to Mumbai? Sariyana kelvi. So Hindi is not the reason, at least not the only reason. Nobody is forcing anything. Similarly, Tamil should not be forced to Tamil Nadu. Allow people to make choice. Don't question people. Patriotism. இவன் சொல்கிறான் பாருங்களா, allow people to make choice. இவன் என்ன பண்ணுவான்னா, சாய்ஸே இல்லாமல் தேர்ட் லாங்குவேஜ் கம்பல்சரி கிளாஸ் 1 to 5 ஹிந்தி படிக்கணுமா? தற்கொலைகளாக இருக்கீங்களா யாரா நீங்கள்? Don't question people patriotism when they refuse to speak spoken language. People realize their politics. Urdu is fine in Tamil Nadu. They enjoy the profits coming by Hindi dubbed movies and giving gyan. Why Gandhi Nehru? Even if God himself comes and tells us, we will decide based on our rational thinking. The result of our thinking, learning Hindi is a waste of time. Spoken Hindi can be acquired in 30 days, 50 words and simple grammar. Why spend 12 years learning school? Hey! Venkatesh, Kadaravutradalario. I can see argument full of factual incorrectness. Tamil is our mother tongue, cannot be forced by everyone except our mother. Urdu is not even a minority language, only 1.75%. Everyone knows South movies are better than Bollywood. So stop trying to fool us. As I said, we are educated and can see through your half-assed truth lies. I don't need to catch up on anything. Thought that few languages are superior than others shows the mindset. Thanks, people in Mumbai don't think that way, and that is why it's financial capital. டேய் மொத்த சங்கிங்களும் அங்கே தான் இருக்கீங்க. வெளில எட்டி பாரு தெரியும். குட்டி சவரை எட்டி பார்த்தா கோடி சங்கி கண்ணுக்கு தெரியும். கமான் எக்ஸாம், common exam for kids in 5th 8th is also part of NEP. Even though it says any language can be chosen, it's not possible for each state government to teach all 28 languages all over the state. Useless policy. We have rejected it at cost of 2,150 crores. Well done, Maharashtra. You have picked the right kind of fight. Ask North Indians to learn Marathi in their states. If this would have happened in TN, the North Godi Media's project is apprentice. Fadnavis is a joker. English and mother tongue are enough for the whole of India. No egos, please. 3 languages completely unscientific and unnecessarily creating stress on young kids, including mine. Hope someone files PAL in Supreme Court. Stop this nonsense. Public interest litigation. Article 351 is taking about promotion of Hindi all over India. That's why our children are forced to learn 3 languages in schools. Article 351 says that states with Hindi as the language should explode population. GST 18BC bomb potter. Does Article 351 say that states with Hindi as the language should explode population and not study any other languages? Hey, இந்த கமெண்ட் செக்ஷன் படிக்கிறதால இவ்வளோ ஜாலியாக இருக்குன்னு தெரியாமல் போச்சுடா. எப்பா டேய், என்னடா அடி தட்டுறான கொடுறமா இருக்கு. Correct good question to those hypocrites and eat other states' tax. Article 351(3) says 3 language policy, 5 loot taxes from 5 southern states, 1 just study 1 language in the Bihar state. Kudos to MH language panel chief for advising the CM that Hindi is not necessary for school children till 12th class. Common sense says 2 languages sufficient for a policy. Good one. Love support from Tamil Nadu. BJP exposed itself by making Hindi mandatory. They said Hindi is also an option along with other languages, so the hidden agenda was to impose Hindi using NEP's disguise. Give students the choice and provide teachers. Every school should have teachers from all languages. Only Bengalis, Karnatakas, Punjab, Tamils and Marathi speakers show linguistic patriotism. Rest displays thick skin. I request that all North Indian media must indicate South as South India and not down South. We are well cultured. Lord, they are pronouncing right. There is only one India. Well, down north they tend to get quite flippant. If you can't get them to stop, let's join them instead. We strongly support our brothers and sisters of Maharashtra. Tamil Nadu people are fighting for the past 100 years. Why do we need pan-Parak language Hindi? Because you need to think as a nation and love your country. You non-pan-Parak. We Tamil Nadu always side up others in this issue. Come on, Maharashtra people, know you understand why Tamil Nadu fight for it. See the imposing Hindi. So will the center stop NEP fund to Maharashtra as they have stopped Hindi compulsion for now? GST 18BC blast பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காரு. மகாராஷ்டிராவே பிஜேபி ரன் ஸ்டேட்டு, இப்போ கேன்சல் பண்ணுறான் ஃபண்டை. குட் டெசிஷன் பை பேனல். ஜெய் ஹிந்த், ஜெய் மகாராஷ்டிரா. Tamil Nadu supports Maharashtra against Hindi imposition. Love from Maharashtra. What is that BJP guy talking? He says no sin is made. They are holding 2,000 crore plus fund for Tamil Nadu for not implementing NDP. Misinformation, bro. Government school students studied in 2 language policy from Tamil Nadu are doing well around the world. Is it because they are intelligent? No, because they get sufficient time to learn the core subjects. If Tamil Nadu government school students could do, why not trust everybody is born intelligent? Mr. Asif should have the decency of talking English in a national English language channel. He is bankrupt of ideas. If they have common sense, they will have called this as the NEP. You need decency to respect every Indian language, and particularly the one that is widely spoken in North India. It's basic etiquette to speak in English debate or channel in English. It is basic etiquette to speak in English debate or channel in English. If disrespecting non-Hindi audience of the channel by speaking in Hindi, he clearly lacks common sense and substance. Die! Truther ஒரு பாம்பு ஒன்று போட்டு போயிருக்கா. Jay Murati support from Tamil Nadu. To Sangi's one basic question, can you tell me one Indian language which can secure me a job? Mother tongue is irreplaceable, but what is the use of studying another Indian language? It is not going to help me in any way. What, sir? You asked this tough question. Hindi will get Pani Puri selling jobs, building construction labor jobs, chapati making jobs, lorry and truck loading cleaning jobs. Please understand the struggle of people in states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and other failed north states. They can speak only one language, and that is Hindi. Their states not educate them in English. As a result, there is not even low-level jobs found in those states. They migrate to south states and they are facing unbearable problems, and they feel like they live in a foreign country when Tamil Nadu, Karnataka or so people of south should learn Hindi and be ready to welcome. They migrate to southern states and they are facing unbearable problems, and they feel like they live in a foreign country when in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. So people of South India should learn Hindi and be ready to welcome this uneducated labor person in Hindi. That is what the central BJP government trying to do without realizing the seriousness and possibility of creating new neighbor country down south. Lol, I am from UP and I know 4 languages. I am not a Sangi, but the only Indian language that gets you job everywhere is English. Why consider English as foreign language in the first place? Good one. Asif, can't you talk in English or Marathi? Why you are talking in foreign language? Appreciate Marathi people say English is the connecting language of India and the world. Hindi built inability to learn English cannot force us to learn Hindi. Good one. In Maharashtra, we are already having Hindi from third class as our third language till 12th class, and it's not like it's hard for us Marathi speaking people to learn Hindi. Both have their own script which makes us easy to read and write Hindi. I am from Maharashtra, and why you need to make it mandatory? In my school, we get options like Hindi or Sanskrit, or example, and we choose Sanskrit. What the F is someone to force it on us? And Devanagari is really petty excuse. Please tell me which North Hindi state is choosing Marathi as third language, as it's having Devanagari script. Why should we show one side respect? Not in my school, we had 3 languages. English is first language, Marathi is second language, and Hindi is third language. And any 1 or 2 foreign language depending on your interest. And school in my location I have 3 languages: English, Hindi, Marathi. No Sanskrit option, so not my problem. I don't care about language. I don't think we Marathi people should be that insecure. Our language is there since 2500 years. Do you think mere addition of one language will kill our language? Is it? ஐயாயிரம் வருஷம் தமிழே நாங்களே இவ்வளோ பேசிக்கிட்டு இருக்கோம். பாதி வருஷம் கூட நீங்கள் வாழல. Again, what insecurity? We already got a lot of exposure through movies, etc. டேய், நீ உனக்கு தெரியுமாடா மகாராஷ்டிராவில் மராட்டி படம் ஓடுறதுக்கே அங்கே ஆள் இல்லைடா. ஜெனிலியாவும் தேஷ்முக், அவன் பேர் என்ன, ஐயோ மாட்டேனே, ஜெனிலியா அண்டு ஐயோ நல்ல பேர்ப்பா, நல்லா நடிப்பான், ஏதோ தேஷ்முக் தான் அவன். அவங்களாம் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் எடுத்து அவங்களாம் ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணி அவங்களாம் ஒரு படத்தை, அதுவும் தெலுங்குல ஓடின படத்தை ரீமேக் பண்ணுறாங்க. அப்போ தான் மராத்தியில் படமே வருது. மராத்தில் எவ்வளோ படம் வருது, எவ்வளோ நீ பார்த்து சப்போர்ட் பண்ணுறீங்க? மகாராஷ்டிராவில் பாலிவுட்டு மும்பை வச்சு தானே பேஸ் பண்ணி எடுக்கிறாங்க. மராத்தி கூட எடுத்தாங்களா? அவ்வளோ ஏங்க, ரொம்ப சிம்பிளாக கேட்குறேனே. இவ்வளோ பேசுகிறீங்களா? இப்போ சாவான்னு ஒரு படம் வந்துச்சு, பிரபகண்டா படம், அது சித்தம்பரம் சிவாஜி பற்றி தானே. மராட்டியில் பேசுனாங்க இல்லை ஹிந்தியில் பேசுனாங்களா? நல்லா யோசிச்சு பார்த்து கமெண்ட் செக்ஷனில் கதறுங்க. Again, what insecurity? You already got a lot of exposure through movies, etc. Why they want to burden children from the first standard to learn Hindi? During our old days, it was from the fifth standard. And respect should be to, hey, please tell the count of people who come to Maharashtra from. But why to everyone children will also learn Marathi from class 1? It's not a problem, right? At least Hindi people can read and write Marathi who completed their secondary education. Unity is important, but uniformity is nonsense. Jai Maharashtra, Vazhga Tamil Nadu. As a person from Kerala, I support Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. Jai Marathi, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada and Malayalam. Union government give back Tamil education fund money 2,100 plus crore when what you stopped in name of third language. Now Maharashtra also declared it. Better give back Tamil Nadu money now. Whether Maharashtra don't let your language, as a Tamilian we always stand for it. A few Hindi words BJP trying to impose Hindi on Marathi people, it's kind of a joke. Good decision, Maharashtra. 3 language policies extra burden for kids. When we Tamilians said it's Hindi imposition, only even sugar-coated words of saying any third language. That time these people said you are wrong. Now practically think and came to conclusion even after number 1 financial state in India, not having money for other language teachers. Exposed. Aditya Soane, that's the strategy to bring Bimaru to Maharashtra's teachers in lakhs number of as an employer and change the demography of the state. We understand and oppose the decision. Maharashtrians are already learning Hindi from class 5, whereas they need to needle them unnecessarily. Curb Hindi chauvinism, else it will spell doom for the national unity. Here Maharashtrians are only opposing imposition. Hindi chauvinists and BJP are at fault. There are subjects like AI data analysis, financial literacy, climate change, mental health, coding and computing, entrepreneurship, innovation, health and nutrition, and many other newly developed, evolved subjects. Why the government not mandating these subjects? First language English, second language mother tongue. 10-year labours from Maharashtra will be welcomed with open arms to sell Pani Puri in Tamil Nadu. Out of 5. What is necessary to speak in 3 languages? If the situation arises, anyone can read and write any number of languages. No need to make it mandatory for any language on anyone. Tamils were right, Stalin is right. China made AI compulsory for school students and these people are still stuck in Hindi imposition. Okay, good one. Follow Tamil Nadu, you can't go wrong with that. Hindi is the national language of what nation? Imagination. TN Chief Minister stand indicated Union government should immediately release funds to Tamil Nadu. ASIF lost his brain. Asif lost his brain. Being in English media, he is speaking in any AI language to the discussion. Put all 6 languages, remove social science and maths. Put all 6 languages, remove social science, maths and science. Language is this a sarcastic joke? Yes, obviously. All study English and people in border area will communicate in English in other states. Why do you bother about minister? Just think about it and implement only 2 languages in India. English is equal to world, mother tongue is home, that's enough. Hindi should be banned in all non-Hindi states because Hindi is North Indian language, can be used in North India. Hindi is not national language. Remember, Bangladesh separated from Pakistan on the basis of language. Both the countries are Muslim countries, no compromise on language and culture. Jai Maharashtra, Jai Marathi. Just so you know, they killed Bengali Hindus after that. Sir, try to understand. We are against the imposition of Hindi language on our state. Why should we learn Hindi? Hindi is not national language. By learning Hindi, our children don't get jobs. Hindi is definitely not useless in India. Hindi is the official language. At least most Indians speak Hindi, and lot of Marathis have moved outside of Maharashtra for jobs and other purposes. Now, if Hindi is national language or not is debatable. Indian consider it as a lot of Indian considers national language though. Paitya. Hindi is not the national language, ra. If I consider myself a Shah Rukh Khan, I'm a Shah Rukh Khan. Anyways, that is different topic. My point is that language but is useless. Hindi can be useful to learn, and I'm not imposing any language on non-Hindi state. I'm a normal North Indian. It is US central government, not me. Why don't your people go rescue from if that concerned? 2 metro states apart Delhi, North India useful. It's your language might be useful. Economically zero use. Nobody even go to North. No job, no development. What's purpose? Whole objective is others learn so that they can be welcomed with their corporate Hindi as they don't know English or local language. For North Indian people, fight is useless because you don't understand culture, emotions attached for many religions, especially more senseless. Just to try to use religion for identity as not like that part. I do not want to sound rude, but you claim to be master of English, but English is a bit poor. Learn to speak fluent English that is grammatically correct because I did not understand at all what you just said. Stop Hindi push in Maharashtra. This Marathi is going to be Aituta in Maharashtra. What Tamil Nadu predicted decades before, the Maharashtra government committee understood now. I hope people from all states understood this. Hindi is following many more languages like Bhojpuri, Pahari, Maithili, Rajasthani, Brahi. These are all decided by Hindi portions, so we need to protect our mother language, Marathi, Jai Maratha. In linguistic diverse country like India, the push by self-serving politicians and bureaucrats for the language policy risking damage the very fabric of the nation. We are still struggling to successfully implement a two-language approach, mother tongue and English, so introduce a third language only adds unnecessary complexity. Children below 12 should not be overloaded with heavy syllabus in school, and this amounts to child labor and torture in the name of education. Moreover, Hindi is not such a language that can render higher technical education and employment. Mother tongue and English can render spectacular results as it has been practiced by Tamil Nadu. Over 75 years, poor North Indians realized the truth behind two-language policy and cuttingness behind imposing Hindi in non-Hindi speaking states. Carl asked Mamla's BJP responsibility for all NEP discussion. Soon NEP will get abolished. Tamil leaders cried foul and revolt against the imposition of Hindi under NEP from union government. On the other hand, by dethroning the state's mother tongue, all our affiliates called them as separatist and anti-nationals. Now their own Maharashtra chief minister partnered with all political parties in Maharashtra. BJP is a great liar as usual. He says it is all over India mostly speaks Hindi. Aha, finally my dear brothers and sisters, instead of Maharashtra woken up to the fact that Hindi has eaten up sweet central Dravidian language. Marathi, and I am very happy that they will follow us in sweet central Dravidian language Marathi, and I am happy that they will follow us in Tamil Nadu to stop Hindi imposition. What Dravidian language? Yes, I am against Hindi, but Marathi is not a Dravidian at all. 60% of words are Sanskrit and 30% are Farsi. Both Indo-European, very few words are from Tamil and mostly from Kannada. Please don't spread false propaganda. Marathi is closest major language to Sanskrit and also to Persian Farsi. We have few loan words and grammatical things from Kannada, and we are not Dravidian. All Dravidian languages, Tamil and even Hindi and other Indian languages are beautiful, but we don't want them imposed. We don't know much about Marathi, but as we know, it's state which is kind of a buffer between north and south, just like Orissa, another bordering Andhra. Measurement is foolproof that Marathi has no inbuilt vocabulary but only derived and borrowed words in its lexicon. What a shame, I say. Marathi has had an independent vocabulary that was followed by both Sanskrit and Hindi. Now you go and ask Marathi scholar and cry for Marathi being slaughtered by the NEP promoted by the three musketeers, Modi, Amit Shah and Ahmed Chief Minister. Comrade fart noise. All states should follow Tamil Nadu to save their mother tongue. It's our race, mother honey. Last 70 more years than 240 Indian languages lost by Hindi post. Important suggestion: never use the word down south to describe the southern states. The word down is down. South symbolizes the negative context. இது நிறைய பேர் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. Actually they think they are living top, just beggars in reality and feel they are superior. Don't call down south. South India is down to no one. Down means ground to anyone on earth. Know some direction. Class first anchor. Know some direction, class first anchor. Down south means direction, like saying southern direction. Chill, don't make it complicated. Of course, an insult. Down means ground we stand in. It's a derogatory attached down to southern Indians. Just call South India or Southern India. Don't make mountain out of a molehill. Australia is called down under. They don't take offense. All North Indian media must understand the feeling of South and act accordingly. We are well cultured. Respect personal choice. Don't normalize indirect insults like this. If we don't call that, we just don't like to be called. As simple as that. So don't be petulant. Down south or deep south is used because the map is hung in the north-south direction. Primary students are taught that north is up and south is down, east is right and west is left. That's the convention. We can't change it. I am also a southerner. I know it's a convention, but it's a form of derogatory slang used to be northern. It's like stereotypical remark of South Indian. They assume that South Indians are down to them. They think that's their mindset. Believe me, I have been there. India stands on South India. Good state should fight against Union government as they are playing with the attitude. Who speaks Marathi in Mumbai today? Not even 0.01 of total population living in there. Marathi language will disappear in another 10 years from now. This is the first year of Mr. Fadnavis, CM of Maharashtra, and Tamil version of Palanisamy, ADMK, slugfest in Maharashtra state politician. Shinde, the so-called deputy chief minister. Tamil is a sword and English a protected defender for the people of Tamil Nadu. So all non-Hindi speaking states must follow the two language policy that Tamil Nadu did. Not only respective native language can be preserved, protected and promoted. Special focus on English subject necessary for getting complete knowledge. TN tops in all aspects with the help of English. Maharashtra Hindi is not necessary at all. Both languages are similar to each other. Like 50% at any given point they can learn Hindi. If made it compulsory, it's additional burden on children. There is an exam with minimum marks. If you have learned English properly without prejudice in all states in India, then why need for a third language? We can use English throughout India and the rest of the world. The third language is unnecessary. The problem is in North India, teaching English has been failure for past 75 years. Sirana comment section, guys. Sirana blaster and fire and thank you so much for all the wonderful comments. You guys made a absolute delay to read or blog படிச்ச மாதிரி different perspectivesல thank you all. நாங்க அடுத்த வீடியோக்கு போவோம். சட்டு புட்டுன்னு போவோமா? இதுவே 1 hour ஆயிடுச்சு. ஒரு வீடியோ தான் பார்த்தேன், ஒரே ஒரு வீடியோக்கு தான் ரியாக்ஷன் பண்ணேன். அதுக்குள்ள பாருங்க டைம் ஆயிடுச்சு. சரி டக்குன்னு பார்ப்போம்.
Language row in Tamil Nadu, Hindi made compulsory in Maharashtra. Yes, you heard it right. Not optional, but mandatory in Maharashtra. The Maharashtra government has made Hindi a compulsory third language from standard 1 to 5 in both Marathi and English medium schools in the state, as per the national education policy. Currently, only Marathi and English are being taught as mandatory languages from 1st to the 4th in these schools.
जो नई शिक्षा नीति है उसको हम पहले से लागू कर रहे हैं. ये कोई नया नोटिफिकेशन नहीं है. शिक्षा नीति में हमारा यह प्रयास है कि सबको मराठी भी आनी चाहिए और साथ साथ अपने देश की भाषा जो है वो भाषाएं भी आनी चाहिए. जो केंद्र सरकार ने विचार किया कि हमारे देश में एक संपर्क भाषा होनी चाहिए, उस दृष्टि से यह प्रयास किया गया है.
In what seems to be a controversial move which will have both social and political ramifications, Hindi in Maharashtra will now not be optional but mandatory.
भाषा को विवाद ये 2 स्तर पे मैं देखता हूं. पहले तो एक राजनीतिक स्तर पे देखता हूं. जिन 2 लोगों की मीटिंग हुई, दोनों को जरूरत है, शायद भाजपा को भी जरूरत है कहीं ना कहीं पुनर्जन्म की, राजकीय पुनर्जन्म की. तो कोई इस भाषा का विषय ले, मुंबई के बीएमसी में चला दे, कोई हिंदी का विषय ले, कोई मराठी का विषय बीएमसी में चलाए, कोई हिंदी का विषय बिहार में चलाए, अपनी अपनी रोटी सेके जब तक हम लड़ते रहे.
A lot of commentary politics has been swirling around the 3-language policy. The 3-language formula in the National Education Policy 2020 recommends that students learn 3 languages, at least 2 of which must be native to India. The formula applies to both government and private schools, giving states the flexibility to choose language without any imposition. The key word here has been without imposition. Something which the government has gone to lengths to defend, suggesting the DMK government has only been whipping up imaginary Hindi imposition hysteria.
NEP is not recommending imposition of any language on the respective students of the state. That means in no way NEP is recommending imposition of Hindi in Tamil Nadu. This misinformation, this falsehood should not be spread from the responsible persons.
With now the imposition in Maharashtra, the DMK has found fresh ammunition to attract the government with. Those who once argued that Hindi would not be imposed as a third language and that students could choose to learn any Indian language they wished have now made Hindi a compulsory subject up to class 5 in Maharashtra. The so-called national education policy is nothing but a facade to push Hindi imposition, said the DMK. While in Maharashtra, the move has fanned the fires of hyper-regionalism. The MNS put up provocative posters in Dadar. The posters catching the attention of locals and sparking debate across political circles read, "Hum Hindu hain, lekin Hindi nahi," which translates we are Hindus but not Hindi. The imposition might just be in Maharashtra. The ramifications, though, will be national and political. Top focus onto the point this evening. All right, so at the back of it, the questions that we asked this evening, Hindi imposition, real fear of fear-mongering now, because we are still now, one would have believed that...
பிரீத்தி இன்னுமா நீங்கள் ஃபியர் மாங்கருக்கு நம்பிக்கிட்டு இருக்கீங்க? ஹிந்தி இம்போசிஷன் ரியல் ஃபியர் ஆர் ஃபியர் மாங்கருக்கு என்னமா கொஷின் அவுடேட்டடாக இருக்குது. ஸ்கிரிப்டே இன்னும் மாற்றலையாமா?
What the three-language policy says, that it's not imposition. But with Maharashtra imposing Hindi, that fear has been regenerated. Maharashtra example of centre covertly pushing Hindi as a linked language. The Home Minister, the Education Minister has gone at lengths to say that we are not imposing Hindi at all. But you have a full state now which has outrightly, the Chief Minister has gone and said that the centre wants Hindi as a linked language, and we agree with that. The other question that we ask is Maharashtra decision now with what has happened, where Hindi imposition in Maharashtra given direct fodder for South parties to say we told you so, that this was always the plan of the government to use Hindi as a link language. Let's take these questions to our panelists this evening. We'll give all of them 2 minutes timer, and after that your fader falls. We won't be able to hear you. Joining me this evening, Krishna Hegde, spokesperson Shiv Sena; Sanju Verma, national spokesperson BJP; Chitra Batham, national spokesperson Congress; Sushma Andhare, spokesperson Shiv Sena UBT.
ரொம்ப முக்கியமாக பேசுவாங்க. ராம்ப் அப் பண்ணுறோம்.
I'll begin with Sanju Verma, and the reason I am beginning with Sanju Verma is because, Sanju Verma, I want you to hear one particular reaction, and I'm going to come right back. Let's listen into the Education Minister.
NEP is not recommending imposition of any language on the respective students of the state. That means, in no way, NEP is recommending imposition of Hindi in Tamil Nadu. This misinformation, this falsehood should not be spread from the responsible persons.
All right, so imposition was falsehood, was misinformation as per the Education Minister. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Sanju Verma, on record, I'm happy to play that reaction for you as well, but I'm sure you heard it in our lead-up story, has said directly that the centre wants a linked language and we will impose Hindi. So now, it's out in the open. You're trying to covertly impose Hindi through the back door.
Has my timer started, Preeti?
Ma'am, yes, I'll give you 10 more seconds if you wish. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Preeti, first and foremost, let me state very clearly, Article 343 of the Constitution clearly says that Hindi in Devanagari script is the official language of the Indian Union. So Hindi हमारी राष्ट्र भाषा नहीं है, but Hindi हमारी राजभाषा जरूर है. Point number 1. Point number 2. Article 351 of the Constitution goes so far as saying that Hindi is the only language that can bind India and promote national identity despite our linguistic diversity, and it is incumbent upon the central government and all states to secure the enrichment of Hindi and promote Hindi as a medium of expression. So the third point is, by promoting Hindi, are we actually promoting what our constitutional ideals espouse? Most certainly yes, but now I will showcase the hypocrisy of the opposition. There is the Telangana Education Act of 1982, and now using that, just 2 months back, Revanth Reddy passed a GR saying, henceforth from the next year, Class 9, whether you're in CBSE, ICSE or IB affiliated schools, Telugu is compulsory. Karnataka Learning Act of 2015, the Siddharamaiah government has said right from class 1 to class 10, all CBSE and ICSE affiliated schools will have Kannada as one of the mandatory languages right from class.
தத்தி ஐயோ ஏம்மா மகாராஷ்டிராவில் மராத்தி அவங்க ரீஜனல் லாங்குவேஜ், ஒவ்வொரு லாங்குவேஜ் பேசுகிறது தான் ஸ்டேட்டே பிரித்தாங்க. அவங்கவுங்க ஸ்டேட்டில் அவங்கவுங்க லாங்குவேஜ் தான் பிடிப்பாங்க. தமிழ்நாட்டில் சிபிஎஸ்சியில் கூட தமிழ் டீச்சர்ஸ் தேர்ட் லாங்குவேஜ் ஆப்ஷன் லாங்குவேஜாக கொடுக்குறதுக்கு இல்லையே தான் எல்லாம் பேசிக்கிட்டு இருக்கோம். அவங்கவுங்க ஸ்டேட்டில் அவங்கவுங்க லாங்குவேஜ் தான் பிடிப்பாங்க. மகாராஷ்டிரா மராட்டி படிக்கும்போதுமா ஹிந்தி படிக்கணும்?
Class 1 to class 10. Then let's talk about the Tamil Nadu Learning Act of 2006, wherein DMK Venkat Stalin has said right from class 1 to class 10, all CBSE affiliated schools in Tamil Nadu have to mandatorily promote Tamil as one of the languages. यहाँ पर हमने सिर्फ कहा है from class 1 to class 5 Hindi is mandatory, और देखिए भूचाल मच गया है. That is why I say the devil is in the details. From 1 to class 5, if Hindi is mandatory, why the brouhaha?
பிரீத்தி சிரிக்கிறாங்க.
Ma'am, I'll tell you why the brouhaha, and I'll come back to you, I'll circle back to you. The brouhaha is because at length the Education Minister, the Home Minister, has gone on record to say we are never imposing. There is no imposition. Choose what you want to study. That's why the brouhaha. And I'll circle back to you because the same article you quoted of the Constitution also says English is also the official language along with Hindi. As per the new NEP 2020, English is a foreign language.
English is a half-baked truth.
Ma'am, I'm just saying English was an official
section of the Constitution. You read only part of the sentence.
All I'm saying is,
years.
ma'am, hear me out. All I'm saying is English is also was also is also the official language as per the
Why do you
same
have a
article.
problem with Hindi, Preeti?
I have no problem with Hindi, ma'am.
क्या दिक्कत है?
இப்போ கொலைப்பாங்க பாரு லொடு கொலைச்சிட்டு இருக்கும் பாரு
Ma'am, ये channel as per
Why
the
do you
same
have a
article.
problem with Hindi, Preeti?
I have no problem with Hindi, ma'am.
क्या दिक्कत है?
मैम ये चैनल अंग्रेजी है तो हिंदी यहाँ पर हिंदी नहीं है because this channel is English. So
हिंदी
we
के
try
साथ
and
क्या
talk in
दिक्कत
Hindi.
है आपको? प्रीति,
Ma'am,
क्या दिक्कत है हिंदी
ma'am,
से?
I have no problem. Ma'am, now you're now unnecessarily your fader is going to go down. Don't this is not a conversation between you and I. I want to go to Chitra Batham, National Spokesperson Congress. Chitra Batham, it's very clear. Let's say that yes, they want Hindi, which is the center wants Hindi as a link language, so everyone has a language they can communicate with. But ultimately, education is a state subject. Chitra Batham, you don't need to impose Hindi. Maharashtra has decided they want to impose Hindi as in the 3-language policy. Wherever you have a government, don't impose Hindi. DMK doesn't need to impose Hindi.
Preeti, can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead, ma'am. Your time started.
Preeti, as we know that today Maharashtra is being ruled by such a chief minister who does not take pride in being Marathi himself. Marathi language is the identity and culture of the Maharashtra people, and it is moreover the legacy of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. By imposing Hindi from class 1 to 4, we are actually the government
1 to
is
5,
trying.
ma'am. Let me correct you. 1 to 5. I hate coming in, but 1 to 5.
Yeah, from 1 to 5, the BJP government is trying to make a lot of teachers jobless, and it is jeopardizing the Marathi culture and the Marathi identity. So over here, we are completely against this particular act of imposition of Hindi. We do not have, the people of Maharashtra do not have any issues with Hindi-speaking people or the Hindi language per se. But this sort of an imposition completely devoids of the respect that the regional languages also must get. So over here, I must tell you that to promote fake unity, the BJP government is jeopardizing the real diversity of India, and they are not completely in favor of the regional languages itself. So it is very sad to note that the Mahayuti government must impose such a CBSE standards into the state boards, and also do away with the state boards, the SSC boards over here in Maharashtra. So this is completely to undermine what Maharashtra has so far offered in terms of intellectuality, and this is to impose Hindi and to take away the identity and the culture of Marathi speaking people. I must also tell you over here that a few days back, the education minister over here in Maharashtra had said that the CBSE curriculum will be imposed in these state-run schools over here, which were already being run on the SSC.
Ma'am, time is up. I will come back to you. And, I did give 10 seconds extra to Sanju Verma. Next time, I'll give you that 10 seconds extra. Krishna Hegde, I want to bring you back into this conversation. Krishna Hegde, word has it, BMC elections are coming up. The Eknath Shinde party, Shiv Sena, wants to ally with the Raj Thackeray party, MNS. And today, posters across Maharashtra are splattered where MNS says, Hindu hai, par Hindi nahi.
See, Raj Thakkre's MNS is an offshoot of the Shiv Sena, so we cannot deny that. He was always with us from the beginning. He was our leader as well. Secondly, Shiv Sena was founded to fight, for the rights of the Marathi Manus, and therefore the Shiv Sena stance is very clear. Anyone living in Maharashtra should know Marathi, speak Marathi, and learn Marathi. That is, there are no two ways about it. They have to do that. Marathi is the Rajya Bhasha. Marathi is the language in which the government paperwork runs. It is the official language for us, and therefore we are only following the National Education Policy 2020, which clearly
Imposition is not a part of that policy, sir. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, let me tell you, and this is not only for Maharashtra, this is for all states across India. And
but Maharashtra has imposed Hindi till 5th standard. There's a difference.
No, I tell you. See, today the Maharashtrian youth is extremely educated. He's not only working in Mumbai and Maharashtra, but he's working all over, India. He's working all over the globe. And therefore, to work all across India, there is a requirement to learn Hindi. There is also a requirement if he is working in India and overseas to also know a bit of English, because that will help his business, that will help his trade, that will help him prosper. And therefore, learning another language is not an issue. The issue is if you are going to substitute Marathi with Hindi or English, which we are not doing. Marathi is a priority for us. Marathi has always been a priority for us, and we stand by Maharashtrians. We stand by the language. And over that, let me tell you that even with the agitation, Mr. Raj Thackeray had called off his agitation, and now the Congress person, she did not even know what she was talking about. She should make the Congress stand very clear what they want. Are they for this or are they for not? They cannot have a haphazard view on languages. And Marathi for us, as I said, is a priority.
All right, okay. Sushma Andhare, the fact is, with what you heard Mr. Hegde, Marathi is a priority, will always be a priority. What is wrong if you have a linked language where youth of Maharashtra can go and communicate in the north as well for work opportunities? So allow them to learn another language, but nobody is saying Marathi is not a priority.
here is in Maharashtra, Noora Kushti is going on in between BJP and Maharashtra Navnirman Sena. I'm not, I don't want to go in that Noora Kushti, but I want to put something. In 1953, our government, at that time's government, established a linguistic state commission. Fazal Ali was the president of that commission. In 1955, they reported to government that we have to accept triple language formula. First language should be the mother tongue of that state. Second should be the, what can we say, a communicative language. And third one, you can choose any other language like English, French, Russian, whatever. In our academic, language formula is in our academic, the academic subject is in a common list subject. And if common list is located, then how can we say that only central government will decide about our linguistic formula if our communicative science or pediatrician, all people, kid psychologist, all people are saying that 2 to 8, this is the age period. This age period is the very good period for children to adopt any kind of language. तो ये कैसे हो सकता है कि एक ही लैंग्वेज एक बार कोई सीख सकता है, और यह सारे लोगों ने अब प्रूव कर लिया है, लेकिन फिर भी जिस तरह से बीजेपी हिंदी, हिंदू, हिंदुस्तान एक लाइन में लाना चाहती है, यानी कि जो हिंदू बोलेगा वही राष्ट्रभक्त कहलाएगा और जो मराठी बोलेगा वो राष्ट्रभक्त नहीं कहलाएगा। ये धीरे धीरे जो स्लो पॉइजनिंग किया जा रहा है या एक तरह से रीजनल पार्टीज को डिस्ट्रॉय करने का जो षड्यंत्र किया जा रहा है।
टाइम अप है। I'll come back. I'm going to give all our panelists 1 minute each. Once again, Sanju Verma, I will begin with you and I'll come back to the question. My producer has just told me that we have 3 debates of Sanju Verma where she has spoken for 2 minutes each on how Hindi is not going to be imposed. And the same thing was said,
Topi. This is what journalism should do, guys. They should call out. என்னன்னா வந்து பேசுறீங்க, at least they should make them accountable. குறைஞ்சபட்சம் இதாச்சும் பண்ணீங்களே.
I will begin with you and I'll come back to the question. My producer has just told me that we have 3 debates of Sanju Verma where she has spoken for 2 minutes each on how Hindi is not going to be imposed. And the same thing was said, by the education minister, by the home minister. So now what has happened, Sanju Verma, is because DM can say, we told you so, that they are just saying this. They will impose it ultimately.
Preeti, this is for you and very humbly and respectfully to your producers, but more importantly to your audience. I have a great memory and I maintain there is no Hindi imposition. If you are saying that by having Hindi as one of the languages merely from class 1 to class 5 is Hindi imposition, then by that logic,
ஐயோ லாஜிக்ல தீய வைக்கங்கிற மாதிரியே இருக்கு. கைஸ் இது ஒரு காமெடி ஷோ கூட இல்லை கைஸ், இது ஒரு பிரெயின் ராக் ஷோ இருக்கு கைஸ். நியூஸ் தான் இன்ஃபர்மேட்டிவா இருக்கணும், இந்த மாதிரி தற்கொலைக்கு உட்கார வச்சுட்டு அப்படியே பிரெயின் ராட் பண்ணக்கூடாது.
From class 1 to class 10 in Telangana is not Telugu imposition. Having Kannada as one of the compulsory languages in all CBSE and ICSE affiliated schools from class 1 to class 10. Have you ever said that Kannada is being mandatorily imposed in Karnataka? No. By having Tamil as one of the mandatory languages in all CBSE and ICSE affiliated schools in Tamil Nadu, have you ever said that Stalin is imposing Tamil? Nahi. Class 1 to class 10 तक तमिल कंपल्सरी है तमिलनाडु में, क्लास 1 to class 10 तक कन्नड़ा कंपल्सरी है कर्नाटका में, बट सिर्फ क्लास 1 से क्लास 5 तक हिंदी कंपल्सरी कर दिया, तो देयर इज अ brouhaha. Why? This is not Hindi imposition.
Okay, ma'am, your time is up. I would have flipped it around and said that another thing that was said repeatedly is that there is going to be no linked language. It's not that we want to impose linked language. I have a problem. That was said repeatedly is that
கடிகார வச்சுட்டாங்க பாத்தீங்களா, பிரீத்தி ஃபேக்டா பிஸ்டல கடிகார வச்சுட்டாங்க எல்லா பிஜேபி ஸ்பெக்ஸ்பர்சன்ஸும்.
Okay, ma'am, your time is up. I would have flipped it around and said that another thing that was said repeatedly is that there is going to be no linked language. It's not that we want to impose linked language. Ma'am, I have no problem. I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is BJP spokespersons have a problem with any journalist asking questions to them because they are
not... Finally, Preeti knows to speak. She stood up, guys. Preeti stood up. என்னடா ஷாக்கா இருக்கு.
I would have flipped it around and said that another thing that was said repeatedly is that there is going to be no linked language. It's not that we want to impose linked language. Ma'am, I have no problem. I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is BJP spokespersons have a problem with any journalist asking questions to them because they're not used to it. That's the problem. Ma'am, I ask the toughest questions to everyone. But I'll tell you what the problem is. I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is BJP spokespersons do not expect tough questions to be asked from them. But in India, that doesn't happen. Ma'am, I'm glad you're answering them. Exactly, I do. And you answer. I do. And you answer. That doesn't mean I have a problem. It's my job. That's my job. So that doesn't twist my comments every time. Ma'am, all I'm saying is that means I have no problem. I have no problem with the BJP or the Congress. Ma'am, it's not a fight between you.
You made a factually wrong statement. Education is not a state subject, it's a concurrent subject. You made a factually wrong statement. Education is not in the state.
Okay, it's a concurrent subject, but the state has the power to decide to implement it or not.
You need to be abreast of the fact speaking.
Ma'am, I am abreast. You also need to be open to taking questions. Okay. Ma'am, the biggest faux pas right now has been a government which has gone on record to say it's not going to impose a language and has imposed it. Ma'am, it's not a fight. Ma'am, I am abreast. You also need to be open to taking questions. Okay. Ma'am, the biggest faux pas right now has been a government which has gone on record to say it's not going to impose a language and has imposed it. Ma'am, it's not a fight. 1 minute each. I want to cut across to the Congress spokesperson, Chitra Batham. Go ahead, ma'am. 1 minute starts now.
Preeti, the funny point over here is that compulsory is not imposition. How can you say that? I mean, isn't it so obvious that making the language compulsory in the primary stages of education is basically trying to impose something? And also, they have talked about over here about the Telugu language and the Kannada language. Have the state governments made or imposed the Kannada language or the Telugu language on any other states or even in the neighboring states? No, they haven't done so. So why such an exception for Hindi? Hindi anyways would be taught in the other in the higher standards. So my question over here is, what is the point that you're going to derive out of teaching or imposing the respective language onto those small minds on students from class 1 to 5? How is it really going to impact them? Anything that is culturally accepted is welcome. But Hindi,
all right, ma'am, the time is up. 1 minute to Krishna Hegde. Krishna Hegde, final submission, sir. 1 minute begins now.
I must tell you, as I reiterate again, that Marathi is a priority for us. 30 years ago, people said, do not get into information technology.
உஷாராயிட்டேன். எதை பற்றியும் வேணாம், நம்ம அலையன்ஸே மாற்ற போகிறோம். ஒன்னோடு சொல்லுவோம், நாங்கள் மராட்டியன்ஸ், நாங்கள் மகாராஷ்டிராக்கு தான் ப்ரிஃபரன்ஸ் கொடுக்குறோம், மராத்திக்கு தான் ப்ரிஃபரன்ஸ் கொடுக்குறோம்.
Marathi is a priority for us. 30 years ago, people said, do not get into information technology. And today, India is a superpower.
யாரா சொன்னா do not get into information technology? ஐடி இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணதே எங்கள் ஊரில் இருந்தாண்டா. உங்கள் ஊரில் யாரா ஐடி படிக்க வரேன்னு சொல்லுது? Sangi சொன்னாங்களா?
As I reiterate again, that Marathi is a priority for us. 30 years ago, people said, do not get into information technology. And today, India is a superpower in information technology. We are ruling the Silicon Valley. Similarly, in the present generation, we have artificial intelligence. Tomorrow, someone will say, don't get into artificial intelligence. So that is the future of the world. We need to get into that. So if our Maharashtrian youth can learn Hindi, learn English, and prosper across the country and across the world, I think it is a very fair thing. We should give them a chance. However, still reinstating that Marathi is a priority for us in the Shiv Sena and in Maharashtra, along with the Bharatiya Janata Party. और सुषमा जी said, उसको ही बात में कोई तत्व नहीं है कि अगर हिंदू है तो हिंदू है और हिंदू है तो देशभक्त है. ऐसा जो उन्होंने कहा, इसमें कोई तत्व नहीं है. What we want to say is, do not mix nationalism with Hindi. Give Hindi a chance. Respect all languages. Respect all religions.
Sir, your time is up. Sushma Andhare, 1 minute starts now, ma'am.
उम्मीद करती हूँ कि मैं बात करते समय बीजेपी स्पोक पर्सन थोड़ा तो बिहेवियर अपना मेंटेन करेंगी. और यह फिर एक बार कहना चाहूंगी कि यहाँ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की अगर कॉमन लिस्ट में शिक्षा का टॉपिक आता है और उसमें साफ साफ नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में कहा है कि आपको फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज आपकी मदर टंग आप रख सकते हो. यहाँ पर कहा जाता है कि हम वहाँ इम्पोज नहीं कर रहे, हम किसी तरह की सख्ती नहीं कर रहे. अरे आप सख्ती ही कर रहे हो, लेकिन क्योंकि फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज अगर आप सख्ती करोगे तो फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज हिंदी हो जाएगी. और हिंदी कोई ऐसी बड़ी लैंग्वेज है नहीं. माफ कीजिए, ये समझ लीजिए कि हिंदी इस देश के सिर्फ 8 स्टेट में बोली जाती है, जबकि यहाँ के कम से कम 78% से ज्यादा लोग हिंदी से अलग भाषा बोलते हैं. लेकिन फिर भी गवर्नमेंट यह चाहती है, क्योंकि बिहार इलेक्शन है और मुंबई में जो हिंदी का टक्का बढ़ा है, उसमें अब नगर निगम के इलेक्शन में अगर हिंदी बिल के सारे वोट उनको इनकैश करने हैं तो उनको हिंदी कार्ड खेलना पड़ेगा. और मन से उनके लिए
That's all the time that we have for now. We need to close the bulletin. With what Sanju Verma says, what does a concurrent subject mean? That both state and center have the authority to make laws. If you go into the fine print of it, where education is concerned, the state weighs more heavily. But she's right. Both, even the center can weigh way in. But on the other hand, the big question today has been, till now, viewers, the government has been very, very clear, adamant, that Hindi will never be imposed. We don't want or look at forcing a linked language. Having said that, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra has imposed Hindi from 1st to the 5th standard and has also said that he's adhering to what the centre has said on having a linked language. We leave it for our viewers to decide where they stand on it.
Finally, Priti spoke up. She spoke. India is realizing Tamil Nadu struggle against Hindi journalism. So Tamils have been proved correct. Marathi brothers, we Tamil stand by you. That's why Tamil Nadu will never ever let BJP. That's the system based by Telugu person Periyar. Please learn any one South Indian language as subject in school as a response to you. The she said TN never learns a South Indian language, there won't be a repression from the other. That's not a win-win situation. Need more than a crow votes, the language should not be a compulsion, but people need to get awareness. Periyar also lived in Tamil Nadu. He made revolution for Madras presidency. His policy operated in Tamil Nadu, and now Tamil Nadu more developed states sector with the Delhi government support. Moreover, now Tamil Nadu funds Indian development. Periyar is Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is behind Periyar. We proved we are 100% correct. That is why Tamil Nadu not implementing NDP. If BJP and Tamil Nadu, they will surely allow India everywhere. We will make BJP win 0 seats. Tamil Nadu will fight, Tamil Nadu will win. எப்படி கிடைச்சிருக்கானுங்க 52 ரிப்ளைஸா means Hindi can be made compulsory third language under NMP. So you still don't realize the act if you don't understand. Never needs to understand. What is your problem? Hindi should be compulsory. We don't have any objection. Only Tamil Nadu DMK is opposing it. I am from Odisha. We study Odia, Hindi and English. We don't have any issue with Hindi. Even we can understand and speak Telugu, Bengali, Tamil, Marathi and mother language of all Sanskrits. Mother of all languages Sanskrit. We realize that Bharat is one. We don't oppose in any language. Everyone is equal. We do not want any kind of difference between us because of we are all one. Not with the anti-national DMK because we know their background and origin is divisive politics. Not DMK. Every political party is opposing this. Simple. We don't want another language. Tamil and English enough for Tamil Nadu. Are you studying English? Learn only Tamil. This is purely nonsense. No other political parties are only anti-national Tasmak party DMK opposing it. அடிச்சுக்கிட்டு இருக்கானுங்க லூஸ்தனமா. தட் இஸ் வை தமிழ்நாடு நாட்டு இப்படி பிடிக்கும் என்இபி இந்த அப்பாடே எப்பாடே ஒன்றுத்துக்கு இல்லாமல் போய் இப்போ கட்சின்னு இருக்கிறீங்களா சேர்ந்து எங்கே 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 இன்னும் இந்த ஒரே ஒரு கமெண்ட்டு தான் போயிட்டுருக்கேனா வேணாம் 52 வேணாம். Indian government musical bus is not only opposed by DMK ruled Tamil Nadu but also by BJP ruled Maharashtra. People now fighting for their self-respect. Cat out of the bag, it's all drama. Not only self-respect, when you lose your language, that leads to you losing identity. Example, Aussie, New Zealand, etc. All some haters are opposing it. By the way, what is your thought on colonial language English and what are your thoughts on Urdu? Let's have development in the name of Modi through Patni which bold step when there is several infighting amongst Marathi Manons for power in the name of survival. Hindi pushes creating divided in a beautiful country. Central government is doing the same when what West Pakistan did to East Pakistan today Bangladesh. If it's not stopped, then soon non-nations will demand separate countries. I agree. Clearly, all of non-BJP parties in Maharashtra are now against Hindi. Some years back, even Gujarat wanted to restrict migrants from Hindi belt. Separation is equal to solution. Our mother language is taller than any leader. We support you, brother and sister. Condition with no reservation for anyone. Only help based on economic backwardness. Condition no reservation for anyone. பைத்தியங்க. I'm already demanding Tamil Nadu. Beautiful country, there is no country here. Always Hindi belt politicians, criminals looting South Indian wealth in name of tax and goes to their pockets. Regardless of parties, we are not united by love, by just force. Just ask people's opinion south and northeast and go to Punjabi and ask them. Very sorry, that's the truth, unfortunate. Dear Marathi brother and sister, now or never, love from Tamil Nadu. Hindi must be removed from official language list and from currency notes, otherwise make all alternative languages official. What are the people who said there is no Hindi imposition? Where are all the people who said there is no Hindi imposition? Marathi is the one of the rich languages in India with strong literature. Why should Marathi learn accept Hindi which is nowhere near Marathi? Same union minister and BJP supporters are all saying Hindi not compulsory in any state in the name of NEP, but here imposing Hindi in the state of Maharashtra. These are the reason behind it. Tamil Nadu very cleverly denying NEP in the state. RSS cat out of the basket. Sanskrit is the ultimate destination. Definitely RSS backed BJP will engulf all regional languages in India. Maharashtra CM very cunning. He joined BJP. BJP may give him good money. Shame on Maharashtra CM. So the BJP has proved Tamil Nadu's government's point right. The same BJP that said language could be chosen as third language. Any language could be chosen as a third language, but now its true motives and colors are clearly visible. Dear Master and sisters, now or never, this move would result in Hindi slowly swallowing your mother tongue, and how similar to how languages like Bhojpuri or Solid, please act no love from Tamil Nadu. Look at the logic that BJP spokesperson is saying. Tamil is being imposed in Tamil Nadu. The state name is literally Tamil. They are Tarkuris, bro. This lady talks no logic. She doesn't have knowledge on how states are formulated. The RSS driven Brahmaka Janta has already sidelined our rich languages like Bhojpuri, Maithili, Awadhi, Rajasthani, Gaharwali, and others. Now, with great funding, it targets our strongest languages like Marathi, Bengali, Odiga, Telugu, Punjab, and more. Don't call Sanju Verma for any more debate. She is arrogant, stupid. She doesn't know culture, how to talk in debate. She is showing their party color in all debates. True, she is one of the perfect example why BJP shouldn't be governing us. The states Telangana, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu are enforcing their mother tongue compulsory. Don't mislead Mr. Verma. Miss Verma, he is very arrogant. Yes, but no one is enforcing Telugu in BR. India is a union of states with states having their own equivalent parliamentary identity. Tamil Nadu is almost 100 years ahead of the rest of India. That is the biggest problem why the rest of India does not understand Tamil Nadu's views immediately and needs time to understand Tamil Nadu's right. It is not just in mandatory third language only. It is all social justice, secularism, state and autonomy, education, women empowerment. We hate and oppose any mandatory third language. Good one. Marathi now wake up and protest to our own same selling a state for cheap politics. Your mother tongue will die if you let this happen. This is English news channel, but guest giving her answer in Hindi. This itself is Indian portion. Yeah. Maithis have their unique culture identity like Tamil. If Marathis accept an EP, Maharashtra should become worse than Bihar and UP. All Marathis must unite under one roof. Shiv Sena Uddhav fight against BJP government to revert back, go back and make sure they don't impose Hindi in any way. As a Tamil, Marathis are not. As like Tamils, Marathis are not against Hindi. Hindi speaking people only against imposition. Hindi will going to sweeping up Marathi line, Rajasthan, Bihar, UP. Two language formula successful formula follow Tamil model. All states should start their mother language in English only. Only subjects science, maths, zoology, biology are essential. Said no to Hindi since it was a waste of time and Hindi is an extra waste like a unwanted package to students. Hindi has followed many North Indian languages. Sanju Verma is disrespecting Tamil, Kannada, Marathi by saying how a state can make it mandatory. The daily day-to-day state communication language is mandatory in every such state. It's the language in the blood of the people. You cannot impose outside state language on particular state. We don't respect Hindi. We have special love for our mother tongue. Always remember, guys, South is always right, and they are far-sighted. Marathi is no ICU, now or never. Language death right in front of your eyes. Mother cannot be replaced. Wake up, Marathi bros. Marathi, Tamil are the oldest language with the rich culture, not Hindi. Non-Hindi speaking states should be united and form a separate nation. Don't impose Hindi. Every Indian language is equal to each other. I must learn any language. I only need a India Jai Jawan. Protest against this imposition should be organized in all the southern states. Maharashtra, West Bengal, Odisha, Punjab, all states should unite in protest and, if possible, form an alliance for future parliamentary elections. Dear Marathi brothers, stress, don't give up on identity, mother tongue. That's why we Tamil are against imposition of Hindi. Only Tamil in Tamil Nadu, only Marathi in Maharashtra. These Hindi wala now reveal their true faces. So Marathi people should oppose this imposition. Congratulations to Maharashtra government for making Hindi compulsory. It confirms what we have been saying about NEP. Even people in Mumbai doesn't communicate with me in Marathi because I'm currently working in Maharashtra, Mumbai. So due to my shift to Mumbai, I have learned Marathi to communicate with people, but no use for me in Mumbai. Only countable number of people can able to speak Marathi language. But all of them knows Hindi. That's the sad thing. Why do these guys never learn from Tamil Nadu? We have 100 years of experience with Hindi and bullshits with the national party. Tamil is always correct. Affection of Marathi few days ago proved to be a drama. All efforts to achieve RSS agenda become open. Language policy is not valid. One of for our student, in fact, a two language policy more than enough. Everyone wants to learn something new for them livelihood. Then they can learn it whenever, wherever they can. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Master Business stand for your mother tongue. Shameless Sanju Verma. How can they defend this? Pradhan stating no imposition. Now she is saying Hindi is the chosen link language. So it will be imposed. Right, the most logical argument from the BJP lady. If I am asked to call my mom as Amma, it's not imposition. But if I am asked to call her as Amma, it is imposition. I am not surprised reason BJP representative. BJP honestly doing all this foolish ideally, soon it will pay back. RIP Marathi we from Tamil Nadu said it, you don't believe. Now society is called RSS. First they lick your shoes, then they wear it, then they say they own it, then they will say I should only own it, no one can wear it. Indians colonized India in 1947 after Mughals and British got kicked out. All Indian Brahmins are supported because they want to implement Sanskrit in future as national language. We people of the Modi extend strong support to brothers and sisters who fight against imposition of Hindi. Thank you, Mr. Verma. You exposed the Modi government. Teaching Kannada in Karnataka, Tamil in Tamil Nadu, and Telugu in Telugu states is imposition, right? You also said 1982 Act of Telangana. When did Telangana come into existence? You didn't have Andhra Pradesh because India government's there. This is the plight. This is the plight of the highly qualified BJP spokesperson. Good one, Pa, good one. Those who have no self-esteem about themselves and they start will learn Hindi or their mother tongue. Tamil Nadu people are real Indian. You know that. Tamil Nadu new BJP tactics well, Tamils can't be fooled. Tamil Nadu it's not true. We are clear, we love the tongue, but English that makes us progress. We love mother tongue. Come soon, bye bye Marathi, by killer language Hindi. This is a form of internal colonialism. If Hindi hasn't been imposed in Mumbai, by now many visitors might be able to speak Marathi. Unfortunately, Marathi speakers miss the opportunity to protect their language. Unlike cousin Tamil Nadu, such things will never happen. Cities like Chennai, where Tamil remains strong. If you wish to live in Tamil Nadu, whether in Chennai or any other city, you must learn or speak Tamil. Similarly, if you visit a Hindi-speaking system, I'm happy to learn Hindi and interact with people there. If you are looking for a common language, why not choose English? It connects not only Indian states but also the entire world. But if you are open to alternatives, why not Tamil or another Indian language? For many of us, Hindi feels foreign as English. It's not our mother tongue. Let's respect linguistic diversity rather than impose one language over others. Dear brothers and sisters from Maharashtra, your language Marathi is first one to connect the world. English is must. No need for Hindi, so fight to remove of Hindi push. Otherwise, your children will suffer. Learning Hindi wasting time. Just called Hindi colonialism. Everyone should understand. India is union of states. The language formula is only an euphemism for Hindi imposition, or in any state or these logistics. T and DMK predicted this 50 years before itself. You need to lap and enjoy BJP supporters and shout Jai Shri Ram when the faces are foreigners. Huge respect for the people of Maharashtra. Wake up, save your mother tongue. I hope the ones will not fight this fight because against Hindi because Marathi submitted to Hindi wallahs. I don't understand a word he said. Can't you news channels make subtitles? I'm not a Hindi speaker and you channel description Hindi channel, English channel. Okay. I guess that sums it up actually. ஏஐட்ட மட்டும் கேட்போம் என்ன எப்படி வந்து இம்போஸ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஐடியா கிடைக்கும். கமான் கிராக், நான் தூங்கிட்டேன். ஹே டாமி, என்னடா தொங்கிட்டேங்கிற மாதிரி. என்னடா ஆச்சு உனக்கு? ஓகே, போலாமா? Maharashtra. Post. Did Maharashtra state government just impose Hindi as mandatory third language? No, Maharashtra state government did not ultimately impose in this mandatory third language. On April 16, 2025, the government issued a government resolution GR mandating Hindi as third language for class 1 to 5 in Marathi in English medium schools, aligning with the National Education Policy 2020 third language formula. However, this decision faced intense backlash from opposition parties including Shivsena UBT, Maharashtra Navnirman Sena and Congress, as well as the state's language consultation committee. State's language consultation committee, who argued it threatened Marathi identity and constituted Hindi imposition. Due to the widespread opposition, the Maharashtra government revised the direction on April 22nd. இன்னைக்கு தான் the government reversed the decision on April 22nd, 2025. School Education Minister Dada Bose announced that Hindi would be optional, not mandatory, and the GR would be revised to remove the term mandatory. The three language formula remains, but school must accommodate other Indian language. Example, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Sanskrit. If a significant number of students request them, then Chief Minister... three language formula remains, but school must accommodate other Indian languages like Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Sanskrit if a significant number of students request them. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis clarified that only Marathi is compulsory, dismissing claims of Hindi imposition. The rollback mirrors Tamil Nadu's resistance to NEP's three language policy, highlighting the broader regional concerns about linguistic autonomy and federalism. Supera. கிராக் அழகாக சொல்லிடுச்சு பாருங்க. வந்து வாங்க நட்டியில் திரும்பி பேக் அடிச்சிட்டாங்க. வாட் ஆர் த அப்கமிங் எலெக்ஷன்ஸ்? ஓகே, இப்போதைக்கு இது போதும். நம்மளோட ஸ்ட்ரீமை முடிச்சிடுவோம் கைஸ். ரொம்ப ஒரு டீட்டெயில்டாக லென்த்தான ஒரு நல்ல ஸ்ட்ரீம் ஒன்று போயிருக்கோம். ஹோப் யூ என்ஜாய்ட் இட். கொஞ்சம் கிளாரிட்டி, கொஞ்சம் நியூஸு, கொஞ்சம் காமெடி, கமெண்ட் செக்ஷன் கலவரங்கள், அப்படி கொஞ்சம் கிளாரிட்டியோட ஹாப்பியாக இருந்திருப்போம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஐ ஜஸ்ட் ட்ரைட் சம்திங் நியூ. ஸோ இஃப் லைக் த கண்டென்ட், just hit that. If you love what I'm doing, hit the like button. உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது ஒப்பீனியன் சஜஷன்ஸ் இருந்துச்சுன்னா கமெண்ட் செக்ஷனில் தெரியப்படுத்துங்க. அண்ட் இஃப் யூ வாண்ட் டு என்கரேஜ் சச் அப்கமிங் யூடியூபர்ஸ், ஹிட் த சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பட்டன். தட்ஸ் இட் ஃப்ரம் மை எண்ட். அவ்வளோதான், வேறு எதுவுமே இல்லை. உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருக்கு ஏன் பிடிச்சிருக்குன்னு கமெண்ட் பண்ணுங்கள். உங்களுக்கு இது செட் ஆகலை, இல்லை ப்ரோ என்ன ப்ரோ இது கொஞ்சம் நியூஸை பார்க்குறதா எப்படி ப்ரோ பார்க்குறது அப்படிங்கிறப்ப உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது டிசன்ட் இருந்துச்சுன்னா அதையும் கமெண்ட் செக்ஷன் தெரியப்படுத்துங்க. அட்லீஸ்ட் ஒப்பீனியனாக தெரிஞ்சு டேட்டா செட் கலெக்ட் பண்ணி வேறு எப்படி இந்த இன்னும் எங்கேஜாக அதை மாற்றலாங்கிறது நான் ஒரு அனாலிசிஸ் வரும். அவ்வளோதான். ஸோ தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் ஆல் த லவ் அண்ட் சப்போர்ட். முடித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். உங்களுக்கும் நன்றி. வணக்கம். See you in another stream. Peace out.